Welcome back to Bad Movies, Worst People. I'm Derek.
I'm Whitney.
I'm Jack.
And this week, we're still doing Treat Williams movies, and we finally got one that I enjoyed a little bit.
It was a treat.
Okay, not to say I didn't enjoy the other two a little bit.
I'll tell you what, though, this is already in a better definition than the other one. So, yeah, points right there off the bat.
Yeah.
Yep, already got a star.
This movie is called Deep Rising. It's from 1998, directed by Stephen Sommers, written and directed by Stephen Sommers, who you guys will be excited to learn if you didn't already know.
I didn't look anything up in this
Wrote
movie.
and directed The Mummy.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Makes so much sense.
Yes.
Because there's multiple Mummy actors in this.
Well, there was one in particular that immediately I heard that voice. I was like, he's
I've
in
got
the Mummy.
all the horses.
Yes.
I was like, oh, that's fucking Benny, dude.
Yes.
It's been a while since I've
Been
seen
a
The
while.
Mummy. Is he the one who's
With
named
the little
Joey
fez.
Pants in this movie, but
Yeah.
isn't?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he kind of
Patucci.
also looks like Kane from RoboCop 2.
Yeah, I just thought it was funny
Noonan, I think his
because
last
they were
name
calling
is.
him Pantucci the whole movie, and they called him Tooch and stuff. And then at the end, I don't think they said it any other time. At the end, Treat Williams was like Joey. And I was like, wait,
think
so
we
he's
heard
Joey
him called
Pants?
Joey a couple times, but yeah,
He is Joey Pants.
I thought that I was gonna want only Joey Pants to do this role. This guy comes through.
Yes, he does.
Well, it's like
He delivered for me.
this guy's kind of like if Joey Pants was doing a Bobcat Goldthwait voice.
A little, oh fuck, what's his name from Sideways? Paul Giamatti.
Yes.
A little bit of that,
Yeah, I
man.
guess it's a little bit more Paul Giamatti.
Oh man, I gotta work on the engines.
Yeah, but Stephen Sommers did The Mummy and The Mummy Returns. He did Van Helsing, so we'll be seeing him again.
Okay,
G.I. Joe, Rise of Cobra.
that's the second one.
I think so.
Okay,
But I knew as soon as I saw the name, I was like, that's the guy that did The Mummy. Mm-hmm. And then so I had to go and look it up because we all watched this movie separately. For one of the first times, Whitney and I have watched it separately too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was like, there was some guy in it from The Mummy. And then as soon as I saw Stephen Sommers, I was like, well, that makes a lot of
there's
sense.
a lot of
Yeah.
guys in the Mummy.
Including,
there's also-
including the music. Jerry Goldsmith did the music for this, who's done the music for a trillion movies. Well, he's dead now. He died in 2004.
Rest in pictures.
But he did the music for this. He did the music for The Mummy. He did the music for previous episodes, Supergirl and Rambo. Oh, all the Rambos. Well, the
Oh,
three
okay.
Rambos that
Rambo,
count.
Rambo.
I gotta tell you, I think the score is one of the weaker parts of this film for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
didn't
saw that it was
captivate
Jerry
me.
Goldsmith, and I was like, oh, cool. And then the movie started, and I was like, oh.
It didn't feel like you took any like big punches. You know,
Yeah.
every now and then you tried to get a little jawsy when we couldn't see these things, you know,
Yeah.
and try to build tension with that. Other times it was in a different movie where it was like somebody's playing D&D and you rolled a 6 for charisma and you hear like the little
I love that.
it wasn't the worst score, but you know, in an otherwise what I think solid movie,
It could have been
It was
better.
meh. It was on the meh scale.
Yeah, it was a little. It wasn't. Yeah, the music was just kind of whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to pay attention to it, knowing who it was, and after the first 20 minutes, I just stopped paying. I stopped noticing.
I paid
it.
attention to it in the wrong way. I was
Yeah.
like, God, this is bad.
I think I just stopped noticing it. I was busy trying to look for the good special effects, of which there are many.
I watched this movie very differently than I normally watch movies. I didn't watch it
What
as
glasses did you have on?
my small ones that have good lenses.
Ooh.
I watched this movie as someone trying to enjoy a movie, not someone that's about to do a podcast.
That's
so
how I watched
forgive
it.
me if this episode I don't have a whole bunch of details. I took 0 notes on purpose. From scene 1, I loved this movie.
Well, this movie is an hour and 48 minutes long, and it took me like 3 hours to watch it because I was trying to watch. I was watching it and enjoying it.
Yeah.
So whenever there was something I needed to look up, like when I was looking up the actors' names and stuff like that, I paused it.
Which, oh boy, there are some names in
Yeah,
this.
Yes,
it, took
we
me,
have
it took me
household
40
names.
minutes to get through the first 10 minutes of this movie.
We have a couple welcome back to the shows
Yeah,
here.
we have a lot of Cliffs, Cliftons, and other Kurts.
We have a
like there's a
Jane.
lot of C's in this cast.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'll run through some of them because they're all pretty much introduced at the beginning. So of course, Treat Williams because of the month.
Just fucking rambling in this beautiful boat that I was wishing was a spaceship.
Dude, I loved his freaking pilot seat.
I love this whole
His
setup.
captain thing was amazing.
And you see a little shotgun on the back seat,
Yes,
just
you
like
do.
just so you know this captain don't fuck around.
I know it looks like a spaceship.
Yep,
It was
it
awesome.
It did. 100%.
I wanted to play Starfield.
Durka would have been
That's
all
all I
over
wanted
that.
to do.
That's yeah. I'm
Like, how
watching
long is this
I'm like,
movie?
Is that why
cool,
you chose this?
but-
Because it looks like Starfield?
No, for this whole month, I looked up horror movies starring Treat Williams.
We got bamboozled
This is
on
the
one of them.
first one that is kind of close to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you missed out. Well, I don't know if you missed out on Venomous, which was probably released already at this point. Episode-wise,
that's the first one of this month.
And it's not. It's Outbreak. It's Outbreak movie. With who's that? Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah, like a plague movie.
It's
thing,
much
like-
more of that than like snakes, or I was hoping more for a Tremors style thing, which this gives us.
Yeah.
Yes, it
This
does.
is Tremors and aliens on the water.
Yeah.
Tremors, aliens, Titanic, boom, man, bear, pig.
Wait, so Leviathan?
Leviathan, yeah. Well, that's got some of the it going around. Nobody here gets infected with baby squids or whatever these things are.
Hey, Jerry Goldsmith also did the music for Leviathan.
Did he?
Yeah.
All right.
Just throwing it in there.
So we've talked about that enough that we have to do the episode at some point.
When I was renting this on Amazon, right at the bottom, like, you might also like, was Leviathan. And I was like, well, sure, I'll rent that too.
Mine went to Missing in Action 3. I was like, wait, why are we skipping the first two?
Well, at the end of the movie, it was like up next. What was it? Something not related at all.
Wasn't it like a Mission Impossible or
It
something?
was something with Tom Cruise. I can't remember
That's
now.
so
I was
strange
like,
that we got
what are
two
you
different
doing?
ones.
Yeah.
Mine went straight to Chucky Norr.
Yeah.
Oh, mine-
I mean,
ours went to
mine was
Mission
the
Impossible.
where I saw Leviathan was the underneath where it shows a bunch of movies. Like,
Yeah.
you may also like these, and then Leviathan was
bet
the
I
second one,
do.
and I was like, you're right. I only rented it because I'll probably just buy it at some point
Yeah.
in physical hold
You know
format.
me so well, algorithm.
It was on my account that I created specifically for watching podcast movies, so it might make sense that
Well,
came
I already
up.
had a really bad movie search history before I was on this podcast, so might as well just keep it going.
Yeah, my Amazon one was the one that was all fucked up because when I used to work at Harbottle, where Whitney now works, I logged into my Amazon and just forced people to watch terrible monster movies and shit all the time.
George still asks about that. He's like, hey, can you put on a dumb movie now?
Yeah,
Like
we
your
did.
Not a
husband used
dumb
to do
movie.
it.
It's an awesome movie.
I only worked there one day a week.
Listen,
and
George.
One day we did 4 Sharknado movies, well, 3.5, and the next week we did the other 2.5.
Who hurt you? You did.
I hurt me.
You hurt you.
Ian Ziering hurt me.
You hear that?
We hurt
Ian?
America.
But yes, so Tree Williams, which is as far as we got. Kevin J. O'Connor, who plays Joey Wannabe Pants.
Plays Benny in The Mummy.
Yes.
Wes Studi, who's the leader of the mercenaries, Hanover.
Which, yes, we know
I
him
know him from Last of the Mohicans.
Yes.
I mean, he's in a lot of stuff. Very awesome Native American actor. But he plays Mogwai in Last of the Mohicans, and that is a fucking awesome role of
It's
his.
a beautiful movie.
Clifton Powell.
Welcome
Who-
back.
welcome back.
Yeah.
From a very small role in Sidekicks, but a much bigger role in the movie Ray, and we talked about it before in one of the Fridays.
Yes.
And we also have Anthony Heald. I don't know how to say it. He's the one who plays Simon Canton, the guy who owns the ship.
Wait, he owns the ship? Oh.
Yeah.
He's kind of a
Oh,
little
yeah.
rich, swarmy kind of.
Yeah, that asshole.
Strangely enough, I know him from a very small role on the X-Men movie where Mystique pretends to be him to get away with something.
Yes.
So him and another actor on this boat have shared a
I was
scene.
going to say, speaking of Mystique, Famke Janssen.
Famke Janssen,
Who's
dude.
our
Miss Jean Grey.
God damn, she is stunning in this fucking movie.
Yes, she is. Oh, fuck.
I
love
read
her
like a
eyebrows.
bit of trivia where she was like, I guess she was getting upset because people kept telling her, you have to look pretty, for all this stuff. Not necessarily just in
she
this movie,
does
but in
look
general.
pretty.
And she's like, I just want to be in the movie. Like in this movie, she's like, I don't want to have to look perfect in every scene. And that's when Stephen Sommers told her, like, he's like, you're not. Speaking of Jean Grey, Sommers, you're not the romantic lead. Look however you want.
Yeah.
Good, because it plays that way.
Yeah.
It plays as a woman who got caught in a scenario
Although
and
when
tries to
she
make her way out.
looks however she wants, quote unquote, I'm like, okay, so you put on some like jeans and a shirt and your hair got mussed.
Yeah.
You're
Oh, it's
still
doing it for me.
gorgeous.
If she could smear a little grease paint, like,
Oh,
she was
yeah.
wrenching on my ride. Damn. I'd strip those lug nuts.
She's gonna wrench on my ride.
Yeah.
I get her first.
I feel a deep rising coming up.
The mercenaries are like the who's who though of like the character actors. Clifton Powell's one of the mercenaries, but he's introduced earlier, so he was earlier in my notes.
Now
But
we get this room.
T-Ray is Trevor Goddard, who played Kano.
Uh-huh.
which is
instantly.
great. Yeah, I mean, at first I didn't recognize his face, but he talked, and I was like, oh, it's Kano.
I actually recognize his face because he's on an episode of Renegade, and I picked him out right away. I was like, that's fucking Kano. So now I'm like, oh, that's Kano
See,
and the Renegade
you
guy.
with Renegade is me and her going, no, this is that person from Melrose
Yeah.
Place.
It's the 90s again.
Except mine's better somehow.
Well, yours has murder. Well, so's ours.
Mine has much worse acting.
Oh.
It makes
I don't
it
know,
you
better.
man.
sure?
When's the last time you watched
Are
the
you
first
sure?
season
When's
of
the last time you
90210?
saw Lorenzo Lamas deliver a line? I want someone
Couple
listening
weeks
to this
ago.
episode to email your thoughts. Worst acting, 90210 or Lorenzo Lamas? Not Renegade, specifically Lorenzo Lamas.
I'll put up a poll. Let's
Yeah.
see if we
Is-
can get anybody to vote on
Yeah,
there.
please do.
Is Lorenzo better than the shipbird from Hiya? Three Ninjas?
Yeah. Oh, no, he's not better than that. Lorenzo Lamas wishes he could deliver a line like, California. Just to quote a different movie. He can't even do that. He looks pained every time he's talking, and I love it. It's so pure and bad. Anyway.
So some of the other guys we've got here, we have Djimon Hounsou playing
Yeah.
Vivo,
Vivo.
which everybody, I think, pretty much at this point will recognize, at least because of Guardians of the Galaxy.
For me, it was Gladiator.
Yeah.
But he was Gladiator. He's in 300. He's in Blood Diamond. He's in a million movies.
I
Yeah.
think Blood Diamond was my introduction to him. Maybe.
Yeah.
It was one of his big. I mean, he was at this time he was starting to be in a lot of stuff. He was in I think he was in Amistad.
It's a boat full of awesome actors.
Yeah,
Keep
I'm
going.
like-
Jason Fleming plays Mulligan. He's the guy with the face.
Yeah.
The most like the most
He
like
is the guy with the face.
He's the British guy.
I'll tell you two things I know him from. Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if I'm not wrong, he plays Mr. Jekyll and Dr. Hyde on, what's the Sean Connery terrible one? Leave Extraordinary Gentlemen.
League of Extraordinary
Oh.
Gentlemen. Isn't it the other way around though? Dr. Jekyll and Mr.
You tell
Hyde?
me.
I don't know. I've never.
It is Dr.
I've
Jekyll,
never
Mr.
seen.
Hyde.
I've avoided League of Extraordinary Gentlemen with all of my might.
Oh, we're going to watch it
I'm
now,
gonna
baby.
I'm gonna side note. Do you know where Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde comes from?
Alcoholism, right?
Well, actually, it's a disease. It's a mental disease, and it's called sundowners, where you are one person from sunrise to sunset, and then as soon as that sun is gone, you are a completely different person.
I think I have that, but it's summer, winter.
Oh, I mean that's
Mine's like 6 months at a time.
yeah. I mean that could happen, but no, I never believed that was a real thing until I used to work at a hospital and I witnessed it with my own fucking eyes.
My entire life until right now, I just thought it was some sort of like allegory for alcohol. Like just, you're a different
It could
person
be.
when you're drunk.
But that's where my mind goes.
Yeah, that's fair. That's good to know.
I have a feeling it's probably like an addiction thing and stuff too, but also yours makes total sense because Mr. Hyde only comes out at night.
Yeah.
It made perfect sense. I think that potion and like, well, I know what
Yeah,
that potion
exactly.
is. It's a rye whiskey.
Drink a potion.
The best.
I drink this potion, and all of a sudden I'm fighting people in the streets.
I got superpowers.
So there's only two more. One of them I didn't really know. So this guy Billy, Clint Curtis.
No fucking clue. I didn't.
But
look
he's
him
also
up.
the least. He's in this scene, and then he gets digested.
He's
so.
got a pretty boy face. He kind of reminds me of that pretty boy that was in. He's in the T-Mobile commercials right now with that football player, and he's also
With
he was
that football player.
he was in The Punisher, the good one.
Yeah, I know which guy you're talking about. I can't think of his
with
name.
Tom Jane.
Yeah, no,
No, the
series.
TV show.
The
Oh,
TV show.
John
The-
Bernthal.
Yeah,
The John Bernthal one.
He was pretty boy.
He's
Yeah, then
his,
he became
The
Jigsaw.
villain. Yeah.
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 Whatever
He
the
reminds me
villain
of
was,
that
yeah.
guy.
Yeah. Oh God, I know the actor's name. Is it Logan something?
Probably the sexy man.
Is it
that
Logan Paul?
Just talk to me.
That's a name I know.
No, it's not Logan Paul.
I don't know
It
who
ain't
that is. Is he a YouTube guy?
Yeah.
All
I
right.
think he boxes now, and I hope he gets knocked out and killed. Anyway.
And then the last one, Mamuli is the character. Cliff Curtis is the actor. I know him from a movie that probably nobody else here has seen, but I love it, called Sunshine.
Nope, never seen it. I knew him from Collateral Damage.
Okay.
I don't know
it's
what
a
I know him
Danny
from.
Sunshine is a Danny Boyle movie that nobody watched, and it was fucking wonderful. It's a very early part of his career for Oppenheimer.
Oh, Cillian
Scarecrow.
Murphy.
Yes. Silly Killian, whatever.
Silly Killian. Dude, every time I say it, somebody corrects me. So
Yeah.
I'm done.
I've always said Killian.
I
so-
did too.
Is that Peaky Blinders guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Sunshine's a great movie. It's kind of like Event Horizon, but with the sun instead of with like light speed travel. What?
It's the Latin that he says on that.
Okay. I was like, are you
Sam
speaking
Neill.
tongues right
It
now?
just it's save yourself from hell. It's like the one thing
That movie's great. Have you seen that one, wife?
Fucking recovering Catholics, I swear to God.
Event Horizon. Have you seen it?
Once a long time ago.
Larry Fishburne and Sam Neill.
Oh, yeah.
Again, once a long time ago.
And Isaac.
The best movie Paul W.S. Anderson ever made.
What the fuck is that dude's
Are we
name?
gonna-
Isaac
are we gonna
something.
watch
He's
it
the,
after
he's the
this?
bad guy in Patriot.
You're the bad guy in
I'm
Isaac
not
something
sure.
something Isaac. I'll find it. But you know,
I'm not well versed
there's
in Mel
one
Gibson.
person you did forget to introduce though. The future ex-love of my life.
Oh, yes. I have her here, too, but she was separate because the way she came up.
Yeah.
Una Damon.
Oh my God, I
Layla.
love that
I
little
looked her up
grease
because
monkey.
she looked so familiar, but there was like nothing. She's the one person I looked up because everybody else I'm like, well, I know something you're in. Nothing from her except my
She
dreams.
gave it all. Yeah, no, she gave it all.
Well, I had to look her up. Unfortunately, her top on her known for in
Was this
IMDb is
movie.
this movie.
Yeah, that didn't
But
give me hope.
She was in The Truman Show. She's in Gattaca. But in Gattaca, she's just a nurse. Quote,
Jason
head nurse.
Isaacs, by the way.
Gattaca, that's
Jason
the one
Isaacs,
with
okay.
Ethan Hawke. Yeah.
Yes.
I did appreciate that he's playing blackjack or sorry, like 5-card stud or
Yeah,
whatever it is
poker.
while she's out there just getting soaked.
Yeah.
Hammered in the
You know,
ring.
and he's like, "Hey, this is how it goes. You think I'm having fun in here?" It's like, "Yeah, I do."
Yeah. So Treat Williams as John Finnegan.
We're calling him Treat.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yes, during the opening scene, she's like, I need some fucking help out here trying to like batten down the hatches. And he's like, hey, I'm working hard playing cards.
Which I did kind of think, like, doesn't he have to drive the boat? Like,
But you know what? It's skipping ahead to the end. This was a great instance of Chekhov's gun that we joke about a lot. Because he's playing the cards, he loses, it says game over. And that comes back literally seconds before the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
And in the best way possible.
yep, dug it.
Very much an Alien reference in that way too, I thought.
Yeah.
Because this whole thing is like an Alien ripoff.
It
And
really
it's
is.
right before the dude dies, and it's like game over. Game over, man.
Oh man, game over. We're dog meat.
So this movie did not do well.
Really?
Yeah, cost $45 million to make, which isn't that much at the time, especially considering the year delay for the special effects and stuff. Because they hired a company and they couldn't get the creature effects right, and finally they ended up hiring ILM, which is probably your best move in the first place.
Yeah.
Especially at that time. Now you've got options, and they finished it out. And I mean, the CG is dog shit, but it's 1998.
I was gonna say it's
so-
dog
I've-
shit.
But I've seen worse.
Yes.
In
You
most
know
I've seen
recent-
Spawn.
You know what's worse? I just saw the Flash movie. 2023, The Flash looks worse than this.
Jesus fuck. I haven't watched it yet.
All right, anybody listening, just put it on for 5 minutes and see if you can get through that.
I
That's
saw the
all.
trailers and I was like, this just looks like they took what's his fuck's face.
Andy Samberg. It looks like Andy Samberg's
dude-
face
this dude
superimposed.
wishes
in a
he was
Flash.
Andy Samberg.
Dude, I did too.
They just took. It looks like his face is just floating around on a cartoon.
Yeah,
everything
Ezra
is just
Miller, yeah.
cartoon. Ezra Miller. Yeah, thank you.
No, you're fine for not knowing that name.
Yeah,
Like, please forget it.
I really did like him when he was up and coming. He was on the show
Them.
Royal Pains. Oh, they're them. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, also,
I don't know if
they are
anybody's-
pieces of shit.
yeah.
I've
I don't.
heard
I don't think
now.
it matters because they are such a piece of shit. So we can call them whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah.
We are worse people. It's fine.
Either way, they are trash.
But yeah, like when he was they were in Royal Pains, I really enjoyed. I was like, oh, this kid's got skills.
I also believe they had a role in one of those Harry Potter spin-offs, the Beasts one. I
Oh.
never hated this
that was-
actor.
He knows him from Californication.
Yeah, that was David
Okay.
Duchovny's daughter's boyfriend for a long period of Californication,
Yeah.
Maybe that's what fucked him up.
David Duchovny.
hanging around David Duchovny.
Californication.
But yeah, so the movie cost $45 million, only made 11.2. It was supposed to be the beginning of this wave of like monster movies that started coming out, but because it was delayed, a bunch of movies like Anaconda and The Relic and some others came out
Ooh,
before
Lake
it.
Placid, maybe.
And then also because it was delayed, it came out like a month, I think, after Titanic.
Oh.
So fuck you
Yeah,
at
poor
that
timing.
point.
I couldn't believe I'd never
Also
heard
a
of this
haunted boat movie.
I couldn't believe I never heard of this movie. I would have loved this. I would have gone to the theater to see this had I known.
Yeah, and I mean, you know what? The tentacles don't look that bad. It's the dog shit really isn't until the full monster comes
The
out.
very,
at the
very
end.
end.
Yeah.
Yep. That full monster is awful, and you should. I understand you got to show it a little, but not that much.
But you know what? The effects in this movie, aside like the CG aside, are pretty good. Like when they're doing all the monster stuff. Aside from that,
Bending
like
walls
when
and
it's chasing
doors.
them and the
Oh,
floorboards
yeah.
are popping up
Great.
like the thing. You know,
Fucking
dude,
great.
awesome.
That was
and they had that
fan-fucking-tastic.
building, whatever those walls were, they had it really getting crushed in, and it had like tendril, like you could see that it was tentacles squeezing it in. Like it was.
Yeah, I thought everything effects wise that was practical was done very well.
Yes, it was.
So they're riding through the rain, this fake storm.
Oh, I did. I was like, that's just CG storm
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
There's some egregious green screen every now and then too. It
Mostly at
happens.
the beginning because it's when the boats are on the water. But once you get into the boat, you don't have to worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, the his little like murder boat and the cruise ship, it just looks terrible.
This boat is a better, like this moment on the boat with all these mercenaries on it is a better G.I. Joe movie.
Yes, it is.
Like just 5 minutes of this and I'm watching a better G.I. Joe movie. And Treat Williams could play Duke all fucking day.
There is a line that Treat says that I fucking love that I almost texted you last night.
Oh, really? Oh, I
yeah,
wouldn't have known
right
what you're
after
talking
he-
about until this morning. Save it for when we're there?
Yes.
All right.
I like their tagline. So his company basically hires out their boat to take people places.
Oh, and this motto.
And their motto, if the cash is there, we don't care.
Yep.
Or we do not
Yep.
care.
Because, what's that? Hanover?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Hanover.
Hanover's like, you don't really care where we're going? If the cash is there, we don't care.
Yeah.
All
And it
right.
turns out he kind of does,
Yeah, a little.
but not
Well,
that much.
Once he finds out. So now we got Joey Pants. Joey No Pants is going downstairs and trying to search through their stuff while these mercenaries are having like a real dick showing contest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
do
the
like
one
that
is
it's-
just puking because he sees
Yeah,
Kano,
Kano-
yeah,
Kano
Kano's
is puking all over the place.
And then what's his name?
Moon
Jimon Hounsou.
I was trying to think of the
Oh,
character
Mamuli?
name, but yeah, Mamuli.
is just like, I want to fuck every woman in every country.
Yeah.
Mamuli wants to fuck everybody. That's his whole thing. That's his
his goal.
character.
Yeah, but then Djimon is trying to make him sick. He's like, you know what I could go for right now? Some pickled monkey brains.
Yeah.
some
Some raw elephant
And it
eyeballs.
really squishes when you eat it. And sure enough, he buckets. Yeah. But this is awesome. This is the UN of mercenaries. Like this guy, Hanover, is just going to continents. Like, all right, I'm gonna grab one of each of you fellas.
I'm going to find everybody who is the biggest piece of shit in their country.
Well, you have an Australian, you've got
Yep.
a Brit, you've got, I want to say he's Polynesian,
New Zealand.
Mamuli.
Yeah, he's New Zealand.
He's okay.
He's a New Zealand actor anyway.
Okay, yeah,
So-
yeah. He is
And
New
then
Zealand actor.
Vivo is, or Vivo, I can't ever say
Jimon,
his,
Jimon Hounsou.
I can't say
He's-
his name, and I don't
Yeah.
want to fuck it up.
Presumably-
we know he's
He
from an
is
African country.
He is African.
Yeah, presumably somewhere in Africa.
And-
We definitely have a British dude. We have an indigenous, and then we have Billy, the white guy.
Yeah. Who has an awesome death.
Who? Yeah, the first,
Spoiler
the
alert.
first to die.
I think every one of these guys has an awesome death.
Oh, especially Vivo. Juman?
Oh man,
Jimon.
That,
See, I
yeah,
can't
wait.
say it.
Jimon, just like
Yeah.
Like G-Man?
Kinda.
Jimon?
yeah,
That's it.
Okay.
because it's DJIMON.
I know, like Django, but
yeah, exactly.
Jimon? All right.
But yeah, we'll get there. But his death is awesome. And it's one of the only ones that doesn't involve a monster.
Yeah.
I was sad to see him go, so we'll get there
Same.
so we could.
All right.
Yeah, we get to the cruise ship. The
Oh.
cruise ship
Glorious.
is called the Argonautica.
So they catch him. They catch Joey No Pants. And because it has my line that I really fucking love. They like catch him and they're pulling guns on him. And then Treat comes down. He's like, you can't fucking kill him. Da 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 da. And then that's where they have the showdown. And then so the showdown's done. And as Treat is going back, and it is a really awesome showdown.
Because
Like,
they're beating the shit out of this dude, even as Treat William has like this 3-barrel
Harpoon?
spear gun.
Dude,
Fuck
he walks
yeah.
into the room and blasts these spears into the wall right next to Hanover. And there's this like Mexican standoff kind of deal. I guess there's only two ways. It's 5 people pointing guns at him and him pointing his spear at
Yeah, we call
Mamuli's
that a
face.
Polish
yeah, it is
standoff.
on his cheek, dude. He was just like,
Well, and my
"Urgh."
first thought was it's kind of like I think it was one of the Rambo movies where he's like point blank with an arrow, and I'm like, is that gonna work?
Oh yeah, it's the Rambo 4.
Yeah, like I guess the spear gun would work because it's got the same
Well,
amount
it's
of.
right by his eyeball, so it's got enough force. It's going through.
And when
I mean,
when
even if-
Treat leaves, he's like, well, there goes a year off my life.
that was my line that I fucking loved.
Oh,
And I
that
was
was-
just
that was
line?
Mamuli. Wasn't that Mamuli that said that?
No,
No,
it's Treat
it's
as he's
Treat.
going up the
Oh,
fucking
Yeah,
I
'cause
thought that was
stairs.
Mamuli because he had held
No.
the spear gun to his face. Because I was like, well, tough mercenary. He can't even take a spear
No,
gun to the face.
yeah, he what do you call it? Kind of, calms the situation down, and you hear Treat walking away, diffuses the situation. That's what I was trying
Yeah.
to say. So he diffuses, and you hear, yeah, well, that took a year off my life.
Okay, I was confused about who it was.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was the
it's-
line I was like.
It's great because you had earlier Kano's pulling a gun on Clifton. No, not Clifton. Cliff Curtis and Mamuli. And yeah, he has that hatchet right to him. I was like, this is a fun fucking
Yes,
group
it
of
is.
mercs, man.
And speaking of fun group of mercs, I mean, it's jumping ahead a little bit. It doesn't matter. We'll get these things done.
Yeah.
They're guns. These
Ooh,
made-up
boy.
fantasy guns.
Ooh.
Okay, I wrote it down because I was like, I'm not going to remember that. M1L1 triple pulse assault rifles. With
Watertight.
5 rotating barrels, watertight.
It has a Gatling gun at the end of your fucking rifle.
And
it's awesome.
I didn't write down what it was.
Self-cooling.
Yep.
I found in the trivia, because usually when there's guns involved, there's somebody in the trivia who's a big gun guy, and they'll
Yeah.
write like an 8-page dissertation about the guns in the movie. And this guy wrote about these guns. I don't remember what he said it was, some kind of Chinese assault rifle, but basically they took just barrels and attached it to the outside of the gun, and they did make a rotating thing, but none of them fire even the blanks. The
Yeah.
only one that fires blanks is the one for the gun. But when they're firing with that flashing and the thing rotating, it still looks like all of them are firing.
Yeah.
So it's a real type of gun. They just slapped a bunch of shit on it.
Something I noticed is they have these beautiful red optic sights, and not one motherfucker uses it.
Well, you can't use it in this thing because these things are everywhere.
They have no
You at
chance.
least
They
should
only
aim
have
down
one
sights
real.
a little.
Well, usually they're just firing wildly while they're running away.
Yeah.
Except for the time when they're just shooting at the walls having fun.
I
but
loved that part. Are we there? We're not there
Well,
yet.
not,
No,
not
it's
yet.
fine.
But the second these guns came out, I was like, ooh, Jack is happy.
I was happy. I was also scoping the guns I knew were real. I'm like, ooh, that's a Beretta. Ooh, look at that. Look at that 12. I see that 12 gauge pump action behind your seat. Treat.
All right,
So yeah, we have the cruise ship. It's called the Argonautica. It has a big red dragon on it, and then it goes inside, and it's all set up like Asian, this decor on this main area
It's
at least.
the Oriental Titanic.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I was like, oh, they're doing like an Asian thing, and then he said the Argonautica, and I was like,
You doing
that's
a
not.
Greek thing?
What are we doing?
but it did
He's
have
a rich dude. He can do whatever he fucking wants.
it did have awesome the ritual drums and all of that I thought was absolutely beautiful.
I mean, this
This
cruise
guy's-
ship looks awesome.
This guy's Elon Musk, dude, just fucking smoking a joint. Just, what if we make the Titanic Asian? I have the money. Dude, that's not a good idea. I can do it.
Look, we can invite all the richest people in the world. It'll pay for itself.
The best part is poor people aren't allowed. Unless they work on the boat.
So they hired over 400 extras for the boat scenes, like the inner scenes.
They are doing work coming up.
These extras got ripped off a little bit though.
Okay.
I saw, and again, it's IMDb trivia. But the movie's budget was cut because originally the person who they were trying to get to play this character and might have been playing Treat Williams' character, Harrison Ford.
Oh shit! Oh, who else would he play? I guess
And
he
this-
could be.
It would have. But what I meant was he may have been playing. It would have been that character for
Gotcha.
sure. He was in for the lead, and it would have come out the same year as Air Force One. So I mean, he's still Harrison
Get off
Ford,
my
but
boat.
that's
there we go.
exactly.
Yeah,
He'd have
that's what
to he'd have to get to that little escape pod.
kicks that tentacle in the face. Get off my boat.
And then the next 40 minutes, he's trying to land the boat. I mean,
He's trying to get the boat onto land. 'Cause
that's the
that
worst
is
thing
landing
about
a
that
boat.
movie. Like, Air Force One is fun,
Yeah.
but like it's over,
It's got
and then you've got
fucking-
40 minutes of him trying to land the
Yeah,
plane.
Gary Oldman is a bad guy. That's all enjoyable. But yes,
I
what you're
love
talking
Gary
about.
Oldman. as a
Gary
bad
Oldman's
guy.
dead, and
Yeah.
there's 40 minutes left of the movie.
Yeah, no, the movie should end 10 minutes max after Gary Oldman dies.
Yeah.
Like you have a little thing like, oh, he's having trouble fly the plane. Well, we'll help him. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So he was.
Insert Aerosmith song. Oh, wait a minute. I don't want to close my eyes. Gary Oldman's on screen.
That's true.
Exactly.
When he left the project, the budget got cut, which is probably why we got Treat Williams.
I'm
So
okay
they
with it. I loved
had to
it.
cut corners here and there.
Yeah.
So I guess what they did was the AD directed all the extras. Like at the end of their thing, which I guess took 5 days to do all these interior shots with the crowd, which there's not that many of them, but it's a lot of people, I guess.
Yeah.
At the end of it all, he brought in Stephen Sommers and introduced him to everybody like, oh, this is the director of the movie. And they're all like, wait, we thought you were the director of the movie. If he had given them direction, they would have had to have gotten paid like full SAG day wages.
But you
Since
had
it was the AD,
on
they could get
it.
paid less.
Fuck,
Wow.
That's kind of shitty.
It is
man.
kind of shady, but it's also 400 people. Like I read that before I watched the movie, and I was like, well, that sucks. And then I looked, and I was like, oh,
If you're upfront,
That makes
about
sense.
it, it's a different thing. Like, look,
Yeah.
we can't afford to do this, so you're going to be with the AD. Now we have a different ball game. Be open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're in a movie.
Yeah.
Be fucking happy.
I would have done it for free, by the way. Hollywood hit me up.
I would have done it for the crafts.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how many of these people were extras and how many were just stunt workers, because when this ship gets stopped and these people are just flipping off of...
That
Well,
was
so we'll get there right now. So
yeah,
he's
because I have
given
one,
his-
a very distinct one.
yes that I thought of you for.
It's probably the same thing I'm thinking of too. But
Mine's the blonde lady.
Canton is giving his speech to everybody about how we're rich and we're better than everybody else. And I love that it ends
My
with
lifelong
good
dream
times.
was to take your money.
My lifelong dream was to build the biggest, most luxurious, most expensive pleasure ship. Not cruise ship, pleasure
Pleasure
ship.
ship.
Ooh.
I have a pleasure ship. Let me show you.
Hedonism on the sea. Sedonism.
50 Shades of Grey Water.
I like it. Dude, but you're about to get to his line. It's like, it's almost as bad as nothing worse could happen.
Yeah. What
he's like,
could possibly go wrong?
Good times
Forever.
forever. God, this high's never going to end, guys.
Never.
And this is also when we meet Famke Janssen,
Oh, yeah, we do.
and she's in the dress and she's walking around like she belongs there, but clearly from the get-go you're like, well, this girl's obviously a bad guy, or like
Yeah.
not a bad guy. She's actually a good guy. She's robbing from the rich.
She's got a
But-
solid French accent, too.
Yes,
yeah,
she does.
good. She fakes her French pretty well, and she's basically chewing bubblegum, drinking champagne, and pickpocketing people.
I liked the image, though. I was like, man, this beautiful evening gown, glass of champagne, blown like a little kid bubble. Like, you know what I mean? Like this, just smacking your bubble gum. Like, I got no cares in the world. Have you seen that body?
God, because she can lay it on me.
Do you recognize the captain that she pickpocketed?
Yes.
I vaguely recognize him.
I can't remember what I remember him being.
I only have
almost
one
like a
rule.
bum, but like a
Oh.
a shaggered guy.
Shaggard.
Okay, kind of destitute.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, you got it. It's, if we had a podcast, we all fuck up on that. He is the second in command bad guy in Lethal Weapon 2.
Yes. Okay.
Diplomatic immunity.
Yes.
It's one of the
Okay.
South African guys that keeps calling Danny Glover a racist name. Like, I had to look it up.
I saw his name in the credits, and it made me happy because his name is Derek, spelled the correct way.
Yeah. Yeah, suck it, other Derricks.
But I didn't look him up on IMDb. I just saw his name in the credits. Derek O'Connor. So our second O'Connor in this movie. What was I gonna say? Oh, his character name is Atherton, Captain Atherton, which immediately made me think of William Atherton, who Ghostbusters. He's the EPA guy.
Oh, yeah. He plays
he's-
Faulkner in Biodome.
Yeah, he's the news reporter in
Die Hard.
Yes, Die
it
Hard.
Die Hard?
Yes. Yeah, he's the douchebag news reporter that's out there trying to get the
Yeah,
story. I mean, I guess he
okay.
doesn't really do anything that douchey, but he just plays a douchebag.
Well, he's being a douche. He
So-
just is a douche.
I did have to look up real quick. I was like, wait, does William Atherton have something to do with this movie? No, the cinematographer is a guy named Howard Atherton.
So
Then I was like, okay,
so
so it's like his brother, or because. So I'm looking, I can't find anything. I'm on Google, I'm going through like Wikipedia, wherever, all the most reliable sources. And I'm like,
really did your research, man.
I can't find any relation. And I'm like, that's so weird that they would both be. And then I find Howard Atherton's full name is Howard William Atherton, but
Okay.
has nothing to do with William Atherton.
Wow,
It's weird.
that is weird. Weird, wild stuff.
That was really weird.
That guy also, by the way, was a cinematographer on Bad Boys
Ooh, what
and
you want?
Fatal Attraction. So
I prefer
fun.
Fatal Instinct. The Sean Young spoof with Armando Santi.
Okay.
is that a real thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's not bad. I mean, it's in the realm of like Hot Shots and what's the one with Jay Moore, Mafia.
Okay.
Like, it's very much like that. It's worth a watch.
So she pickpockets the captain and goes outside, and she hears this distant roaring.
Screeching.
You know what it was, dude? It was the Shrieking Eels.
Well,
It's the Shrieking Eels from
Princess Bride?
fucking Princess Bride, dude.
All I could think
And then
this
what they
whole
got to
time,
clean up?
so not this part where you hear the distant kind of like shriek roar thing, but like when they're in the ship and you hear the creature and it's always like making its noise. The subtitles say roaring. All I thought of every time was in Independence Day when the alien grabs Data
Oh.
and is talking through his mouth. It sounded exactly like that.
Yeah.
I was like, this came out. This is after, so I was like, did they just steal that
You got anything in that
Like,
sound bank we
modify
can
it?
use? I don't have time to record my own.
I mean, this is Disney. Oh, sorry, this is Hollywood Pictures.
Uh-huh.
Disney has nothing to do with it.
So what I think like the shrieking and screaming sounds are is like the body's being digested because they're still alive.
I think it's
which we
supposed to be
find
the
out.
creature.
I took it as the creature. It could be that.
Because
but-
you see like the body passing through.
And I'm just going off subtitles here because anytime that you actually do hear somebody being digested, as it were, it says like distant screaming or inaudible screaming and something like discernible screaming instead of shrieking.
I need
or roaring.
I need a
So,
subtitle at some point that says splurching.
Yeah. Oh, we need a good splurch.
Yes.
There's a lot of splorch in this movie, and there's no subtitle that says it. Or squelch.
Other movies will have
Squelch is a good
squelch.
one.
Yeah.
I like
but
splorch though.
I would rather see splorch
It's
on
fake
screen.
word.
That's more of an onomatopoeia.
Yeah.
splorch.
So everything's going well in this boat, and the movie ends because
Good day.
everyone goes home.
Yeah, there's no way anything could go bad on the biggest, most expensive cruise ship ever made.
And then Willem Dafoe comes in with a bag of fucking golf clubs. Oh no, that's Speed 2. Shit, cruise control.
Speaking of nothing could possibly go wrong. Speaking of nothing could possibly go wrong, you guys have heard about the Titanic 2, right? Not the movie, the actual ship.
No.
I did
Someone
remember.
is
Why didn't they call it Titanic?
someone is launching the Titanic 2 soon, and I was just like, come on. You want to make a big ship? Cool. Because the
Yeah.
ships we have now are probably, I mean, I don't know anything about cruise ships. I'm assuming they're way bigger than the Titanic was.
Way bigger.
Don't name it after, like, the biggest, like,
Failure?
ocean-bound tragedy.
Yeah. Why don't you have another space mission called Apollo 13? Apollo 13 again. See what fucking happens, man. Nobody's signing up for Apollo 13 again.
By the way, you should have just changed it to a different thing. Apollo 13, of course it was going to go bad.
Should have just gone straight on to 14.
That's in the movie, too.
Is
The
it?
wife,
Okay.
yeah, the wife's like, what? Like, that 13's a bad number. Why are you doing this? And Tom Hanks is like, because it comes after 12. That's
That's
it.
fair.
Yeah.
I've seen Apollo 13, but not since I was a teenager.
Solid
so-
movie. I mean, it's an epic one, so it's not like it's not one of our next day after drinking movies. It's not even a current drinking movie. It's like,
No.
hey, put it on. Have a big bowl of ice cream.
Wait, so you can get through the big bowl of ice cream and have 3.5 hours left.
Well, when I say big bowl of ice cream, I mean a big bowl of ice cream.
That's the name of the strain.
I'm picking up what you're putting
yeah, ice
down.
cream is my strain. Sorry.
So yeah, we got through the Joey No Pants finds the bomb.
I love it. Oh, the British dude even says at one point, he's like, oh, they're still intact. One bump, and we all go, pfft. Why are you armed on these? Like, this is a fucking boat. Anything could go wrong at any time.
yeah, you're
one-
a boat in a storm.
Yeah, I was gonna say one bump in this hurricane, and we could all die.
Yeah, dude, done. Like, why are we keeping these armed? It's not how you should transport
No,
torpedoes.
It is not.
So Famke Janssen does break. She gets the card. She breaks into the vault after hearing screeching, not scorching,
Squirt.
screeching in the ocean.
She hears Peter O'Toole over there.
Squirt.
What?
And she gets caught and immediately gets. They're like, "Well, we're gonna put her in the brig. Does this ship have a brig?" And the
It's
captain's
not
like,
built
"Yeah, it does, but it's not done." I'm like, first of all, why does your pleasure ship have a brig?
Because
Never
it's a-
mind, I just answered my own question.
Exactly. It's a pleasure ship. Something's going to go wrong.
Second of all, why are you on your maiden voyage if your ship's not done?
Yeah. And I did like her response. She's like, you can't put a woman in the brig.
A lady.
A lady.
A lady.
And
Yes,
then
you
he's,
can.
And he says, "Oh, but you, mademoiselle, are no lady." And I'm
Uh-huh.
like, "Doesn't mademoiselle mean like lady?" Isn't it like a
And you, lady, are no lady.
So they toss her in the refrigerator, this is one of those things, kind of like in Under Siege, where like the walk-in.
Check on my pies.
Well, the walk-in always has an escape button.
Yes.
There is no such thing as a walk, especially on this ship.
Yeah. That's how somebody dies.
Yeah,
Without an escape, a release.
because this one isn't even like. It's not even just a latch like a normal thing. It's like a magnetic thing because she ends up breaking out later by like shorting out the circuit.
Oh, she Star Wars is it?
So
Yeah.
like if something happened and say your ship lost power, one of two things is going to happen. Either that door's not going to open and everybody's going to be hungry and starve.
Or it's going to open all the
Or
way.
it's going to open and all your food's going to go
Yep.
bad.
I
I
thought
will-
it was more dry storage because there were fridges in there.
Oh, no.
Well, there's like fruit and
There's
stuff
produce. There's
in
boxes.
the
of
boxes.
tomatoes. Also, big fucking points to her because she does exactly what I would do.
Yeah.
Gets a bottle of champagne and makes herself what looks like some sort of like
charcuterie board?
sushi, charcuterie, charcuterie board,
Charcuterie board.
Charcuterie. Oh,
and she's living it up.
Canton does slap her across the face.
Yes, he does.
And the admiral, the captain's like, hey, guy, come on.
That's not. No.
Come on, guy.
One of two slaps.
It's not
in
that
this
kind
movie.
of pleasure boat.
Wait till you get to the brig. So I think it's Joey No Pants that says this. I just wrote down the line because it made me laugh.
Hit me.
I think it's when he's telling Treat Williams about the bombs because he just says the bang would make your butt pucker.
Oh, yeah. That is Joey No Pants says that.
He's like, they're not nukes, but they're big.
Yeah, that's what it is. They're not nukes, but the explosion will make your butt pucker. So like a firecracker?
I'm like, well, how close is this explosion to my butt? Because
I don't
most
think-
explosions would make my butt pucker.
Yeah. I think if you had a trash bag filled with air and clapped it, well, it popped, I'd pucker.
Yeah.
It's not really an explosion.
So then we get some like bleep bloop computer sabotage, something replace disks. We don't see who it is. It's the guy who owns the ship.
It's Canton.
It's Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, it's Canton.
It's Canton. We find out, but it's not that big of a surprise because he's the best dressed person here, and he's the one with access to the thing. So.
To everything.
Actually, it comes out almost as soon as Treat Williams sees them together.
Yeah, because Canton says
He calls Hanover.
Hanover's name.
Or
He's
is
like,
it
Mr.
Hanover
He says
that
Mr.
calls him?
Hanover.
Yeah.
And he's like, wait, do you guys know each other? So yeah, the computers.
Boat stops.
The computers go out. Well, the boat doesn't stop because of that. The computers go out, and all their scanners and radar and the communications don't work, except for apparently their deep sea radar.
Yeah, you got that on a backup system on some Duracell battery?
Because they're like, there's a large object coming up from below, and it's at 1,700 meters
Probably
or
just
whatever.
whales.
And this guy's just counting down all the meters. I'm like, stop doing that.
He's a sports announcer. He's at the 60. He's got the ball, the 50, the 40. The squid's on the 30. He's eating a person on the 20. That should be illegal. The 10. He could go all the way.
Kabloom! Everything gets slammed in the boat.
Yeah, and
And
this is
now
when
these
all these
extras
stunt
work.
actors, yeah.
Yes.
The ship stops, and people are just flying off of balconies, tumbling around, getting crushed by
So is
There
this
were
where
zero
your-
dummies.
Is this where your favorite was for him? Because it looked like it should have been a dummy.
Oh.
And like some guy just like flat spins off of this balcony, and it should have been a dummy, but it was a body.
Oh, no, mine's coming up, and I'll say it.
I didn't catch that one. The one I got was there's all these people falling off a balcony, and this lady literally like runs and jumps and dives off the balcony, like because there was somebody in front of her, and she was presumably supposed to fall, so she just dives, like jumps and dives. And at first I was like, why would you jump? And I'm like, well, I guess the idea is the ship is being jerked to a stop, so she's flying. But she clearly is like swan diving.
Yeah, she had one direction.
Like she jumped.
you
she
get over
jumped,
that rail.
Yeah.
She jumped and fell, and then she looked over, and there was these other guys bleeding out of their heads, and they were all holding up signs that were like 7, 8, 10.
Mine
Ooh,
was
a little big on the splash.
there was an Asian lady who runs into a bathroom.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's right now.
Okay,
Yeah.
So before that, as we get these shots of hallways, people are just, barreling down the
Trampled
hallway.
on. The
A
blonde.
blonde chick falls, and the person behind her grabs her head and spikes it into the floor. Just
Bam!
down. It was awesome, dude.
Golf
It was
clap.
a fucking Mortal Kombat finisher, and this blonde chick's done.
I didn't even catch that one.
Oh,
I think
that
I
was fantastic.
I was going between looking at what was going on and trying to write stuff down. So I
My
was
roommate
like,
heard me laugh. She's like, "Is this a comedy?" I was like, "Nope."
no, but it's a movie where people die, so
Yeah, I'm
I'll be
gonna
laughing
laugh.
a lot.
So this lady's sitting on the toilet, and she's just hearing everybody screaming, and she's crying bloody mercy.
Bloody Murphy?
Yeah.
Not yet. She ain't crying blood yet.
Yeah.
That's coming up.
Because you still don't know what's happening. You don't
No.
know what attacked this cruise ship.
Could be whales.
And then all of a sudden, and I knew it. I was like, oh, something's coming up. Something's going to come up that, yep, bam. And she screams bloody murder. There we go.
So this thing came out of the toilet, presumably.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, did she just get sucked into the toilet?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because we find out that it eats through its tentacles, so it probably sucked her in and then went back down. But my first thought was, did this just like wrap around her and pull her down through the toilet?
No, it latched onto her anus.
I thought it just like went up her butt.
Am I making it up? Did we see her legs kind of come up to
Yes.
her head? Okay, so
She
this thing
folded.
folds her in half.
Yeah.
And it's just like, "Huh?"
And then blood splatters all over.
It-
I love a toilet death.
Yeah. He's terrified of toilet monsters.
We're back to, what is this?
X-Files, man.
Phantom in the Mall.
Oh, yeah.
Over
Coming out of the
toilet, dude.
Yeah.
Welcome back. No, I thought that was an awesome kill.
During this whole thing, a boat falls off the side. I thought it was a lifeboat, but the lifeboats are different.
Okay. I,
So it's
I
like a
figured
I
it
thought it was a
something like
lifeboat
this
also.
because they're going to run into it is what it comes to. And I thought maybe it's off of this boat, but it did show it.
They do
Yeah, it
show it
does.
fall
Okay.
off of the ship. But then later on, you see the lifeboats, and they're like much bigger.
Yeah.
Kinda like they're still fancy looking. Because I saw it fall off, and I was like, of course, these fucking rich people would have a speedboat for their lifeboat, so they can get back to shore as
I mean,
quick
a
as
lot of
possible.
the pleasure cruises kind of do because they also have sea-doos.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you like once you hit an island and you make port as it were, now you can have fun around this shit.
And once we see the sea-doos and stuff towards the end, that's what I was like. Okay, the speedboat was for people to take out.
Yeah.
It's not a
I
lifeboat.
just didn't
Yeah.
see it fall off. It was like a blink and you miss
It was a
thing.
quick thing.
Yeah.
But it falls off, and
And
then
now we got Treat Williams recognizing like something blipped on the radar real quick.
yeah, and his
boat's
stuff is all
flying.
all
Yeah, he
glitchy
is.
all the time anyway. His little ship called Hercules.
Joey No Pants is the
Be gentle.
engineer, the mechanic, the technician.
Yes, he is.
He's the one that gets yelled at whenever anything's going wrong. Tree Williams
Oh,
like, fix my shit.
By the way, there's a different name for the boat and the engine.
Oh, is there?
Hercules.
Hercules is one of them, and Petunia, I want to say.
Okay, so maybe
remember
that's the boat because at the end, because I heard him say Hercules. That must be the engine.
I think
Yes, that's the
Hercules is
engine.
the
because at
engine.
the end he says he keeps saying she about
Yeah.
his boat, which is how you always hear boats referred
Yeah.
to. But at the beginning he was saying he.
Yep.
So I thought the boat was Hercules.
Yeah, it's he says the name of the boat maybe twice.
okay.
I can't remember it, but
I don't think it's Petunia, but it's
Too
something.
bad IMDb doesn't list it as a character.
Seriously.
It should be.
Should be.
But yeah, he hits one of these lifeboats while these mercs are installing a torpedo launcher on the front of his boat, and he's like, "What the fuck, man? I didn't say you could put holes in my boat." He's just writing shit down. He's like, "Well, that's an extra 10,000." And
Yeah.
Put holes in my boat. That's gonna cost you.
so they hit the speedboat, and it is the biggest explosion I've ever seen. Maybe
It's a Michael Bay speedboat, so
Yeah.
this speedboat runs on jet fuel,
Yeah.
apparently,
Yes, it does.
which I don't understand how it got through the hull then, because it can't melt steel, right?
no, it can't.
Jet fuel. That's what I hear.
All right, let's save conspiracies for later.
Joey No Pants says he can fix the boat and the engine if they get to the cruise ship, which they now see, and they go to their machine shop, which I guess they have.
You'd have to in a boat like this. You'd almost.
I guess
have
'cause
to.
With
things are
all of
always
the other
going
boats
wrong.
and everything
Yeah.
going on. Yeah.
If you're
Okay.
supposed to be out forever.
Oh, I guess that's
out-
true. The other boats, the Sea-Doos, all that
Uh-huh.
stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And I guess a pleasure ship isn't necessarily like just a cruise where you're like, I'm going to this place and then going back. They go out and they
Exactly.
Okay.
And you want to be able to, have fixes for almost any situation. Should it be just like a run out of the right size screw? No, you can turn one down to be the right size now.
and now they finally figure out that the mercs are trying to strike this cruise ship. Even though as soon as I saw it, I would have been like, oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
That's-
that
I mean,
cruise
we
ship right out
figured it
there?
out pretty quickly. My first thought was maybe they were hired to go find whatever creature was out there.
That was my
'Cause
first
it
thought.
seemed like one of those movies.
like the torpedoes, like, oh, they're going to be hunting.
Yeah.
It's one of those types of mercs. But no, we want money.
All the money.
a lot of money, apparently.
Clayton's money.
So they get on this boat, and it is a ghost ship. I mean, there is blood, but no people.
I do
Everywhere.
love when they're getting on the boat and they're like climbing up the side, and the mercs have their guns.
Oh,
and Treat Williams is like, this is a cruise ship. You're not gonna need guns. And Joey No Pants is like, but what if they try to attack us, man? And he's like, what, with margaritas and tanning oil? Like,
And then so they're not repelling, but they're climbing up a rope to
Yeah.
get up in. And Joey No Pants gets up. He's like, "Oh, that was fun. It was fun.
what? It was pretty fun. I don't know. I gotta do a Giamatti. I had Bobcat in my head.
Do your Bobcat." Because he does have a
It was
Bobcat
pretty
thing.
fun, man.
He does have a Bobcat thing going on. There's like this whole movie. By the way, as soon as I meet this dude, I'm like, he's fodder. Like you're gonna have a comic relief death
Yeah,
for sure.
The comic relief guy almost always dies.
Yeah. I expected him to have like a one line on the way out, like getting a octopus tentacle and be like, "Oh man, this really sucks," and then boom, dead. But no, I think she's gonna crush on me a lot.
That's a good one. You should write movies, or at least punch up
I
scripts.
can just punch him up. That's
Yeah.
it. I can't write shit. Send me your scripts. I'll punch him up.
So there's blood everywhere. There's no people, and these guys are still like, well, we'll find them. Where'd they go? Did they take ships? Did they get off on the lifeboats? Did they do this and that? I'm like, there's blood everywhere. What do you
that
think
elevator
happened?
door is from The Shining.
Yes, it is.
That's what happened on this cruise ship.
And I was expecting like a person to crawl out, like melting or something,
Uh-huh.
but it was just an elevator filled with blood.
I want it to be a jump scare where you think it's gonna be the monster and it's like a
An arm.
skeleton or even just like a broom. A broomstick, like, oh,
Broom in an
you
elevator.
scared of a broom? You jump easy, punk.
But that's when the
The
Chinese
fireworks spinner thing, yeah,
goes off.
that goes off, and they all get
Light it
spooked
up.
and light it up.
I mean, Treat and Joey No Pants have to duck because these mercs are. By the way, the fucking New Zealand dude, Mamuli. He is holding this gun with one hand like it's a pistol, and he's like pointing over the bar and stuff like that is gonna rip your arm out of its socket.
Fucking Mulligan, he's holding. I don't know what he's doing. He's like leaning, like holding the gun sideways, like the gangster quote unquote hold of like a pistol in a movie.
I saw
but his
that.
two hands tilt 90 degrees and do it upward like a normal person would.
Yeah, there's not a lot of actual good
He's trying
gun
to go
handling
around
here.
the wall.
And nobody has any sort of awareness, like barrel awareness. You know what I mean?
No.
Everyone's just waving at each other. What are you doing over here with that person? Fucking goddamn.
If it goes off, it's not like you'll die. It's only gonna be 300 rounds.
It's only a handheld Gatling gun.
But yeah, they shoot the wall and then they realize, like, they stop and they're like, that was pretty. These guns are fucking
like,
awesome.
This fucking gun,
So they just start lighting it up again.
Oh,
I guess they figured all these people are gone. I'm not gonna have anything else to shoot.
I mean, I would have done it.
Spoiler alert, you will.
If this is the first time I shot this gun, I'm probably going to squeeze a few unneeded rounds off.
Oh, you have to test it before you need it, right?
That's right, low quality control.
We're getting everybody together now. Famke Janssen wakes up in the fridge. She got crushed by boxes, which, by the way, boxes of produce like 50 pounds, and like 10 of them fell on her. She's dead.
Oh,
but
yeah.
that's
She
fine.
would be dead, but she'd be hurt.
She wouldn't be hopping back
of the
up.
Freeze-dried tomatoes. Freeze-dried tomatoes.
Freeze-dried?
how did
Okay,
that-
Whitney.
Again, if we had a podcast, I'd be embarrassed.
But I mean, how long was she out for? Because she was never disturbed. Because they follow sound.
Okay, they follow sound,
I think
but
they're
also,
following sound, but there's no ventilation in there.
yes, they're also moving through water a lot. Like, I know they can go in and out of like ducks and whatnot.
Right, but they're punching through things also.
Yeah, but I think I mean, if it follows sound and she's been knocked out.
Exactly.
Also,
so
they're also occupied. Like, they have food. They'll find her, when they're hungry. But right now, we got a whole bunch of passengers and
we have
workers here.
we have
we
the
do.
vault full of dudes here in a minute. So
Oh.
there's a few people that have made it through so far.
Yeah.
But she wakes up and she uses her like hair tie lockpick that doesn't work like a lockpick, and she just sticks it in things and unlocks them like a key.
Again, it's Star Warsing. You fry the panel, the door either shuts or opens.
Yeah, that comes up multiple times in this, and then or sometimes it does both.
Yeah, exactly.
It opens just long enough to be convenient, and then it shuts again.
Omni Star Wars.
So yeah, she unlocks that and gets out, and that's kind of like, so she's gonna go find them, obviously. And we go back to the ship or the boat, and Layla is welding underwater, kind of.
She's
not welding yet. She's got a torch.
She's
I don't know
heating
what
something up.
she's doing. She's
I
like,
think she's heating the metal up to bend it back, but it's either way. The actress is just not a welder or any sort of metal worker, and it shows. That's all.
yeah,
But she keeps telling the dude, run
Hit
the
the
pump.
pump,
I'm
you
draining. I'm
idiot."
drowning here. I'm sinking.
yeah, but she keeps trying to do it. I was just laughing because she's doing this metal and water keeps splashing over it, and she just keeps going, and like it's getting hotter. And I'm like, what? I think the water would have cooled it off.
Yes, it does.
But hey,
That's how
you
water
know,
works.
It's the fucking Atlantic, isn't it?
It's the South China Sea. I got that from the description of the movie,
Oh, okay.
not from anything in the movie.
still think that's a
also
cold
from the
sea,
end
right?
of the movie. The very last scene tells you kind of where it is.
Yeah.
If you caught what they were doing there,
Mm-hmm.
which we'll get to. But yeah, so she's welding in the water, and like a body pops out. Which, by the way, this corpse is credited as corpse.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So this is a dude.
That's
This
not
isn't just
that's
a
not
corpse.
a dummy.
This isn't just a
That's
dummy.
That's a dude that looks like that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they did
Poor
some
guy.
makeup and stuff, but like he's credited, and I was like, that's awesome. Because at first, when I was looking through IMDb to find out who the mercs were and stuff, I hadn't gotten all their names yet, and I just saw Corpse,
That's
and I was
awesome.
like, "Is one of those guys' names Corpse?" Because that's fucking great.
Yeah. That's fucking dope.
But yeah, she ends up getting pulled out by the monster, so she did.
Makes me sad. She was beautiful.
Yep.
What is it when they're back on the ship? I think Billy got sucked down too. He got grabbed, right? Or that's not
Eventually.
yet. That's not
Not
yet.
yet.
Yeah, eventually he's up on top of the boat, not pumping right now.
Yeah.
He's up there just crying.
I'm the one supposed to tell you what to do.
I'm the boss.
He said they say something on the radio about like maybe the people are, off the boat. He's like,
Maybe
only
they
an
jump-
idiot would be out in this rain, looking around.
And then Benny No Pants is like,
That's so good.
he's like, oh yeah, maybe that's what happened. They all just left the ship and da 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 da. And he like
Very smart alecky remarks.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, oh, I can see it now. Let's jump off the boat. We don't need life rafts. Yeah, that's perfect.
It's
Let's
the
we'll
last
just-
person
we'll
who's
just
like,
swim.
oh, what about the boat?
Yeah, he's great.
Because they say that the closest land is between 600 and 800 miles away, as far as they know. They do mention when
Uncharted
he's driving his boat blind. He's like, you know how many uncharted islands are out here? And he goes, I don't know, 2.
Think that's funny? I did. I did think it was
Joey
funny.
No
Thank
Pants
you.
has the funny comment because it's like
Because-
they're uncharted islands. No, I don't know how many are out here.
I mean, that would make sense. I feel that there's been so many people that have already explored most of this planet.
I feel like there's not a lot of uncharted islands left.
Well-
Exactly. So 2.
It's like, do you know how many unknown variables I had to go through? Well,
It's
no, they're
unknown.
unknown, so I have no clue.
We're back on the cruise ship, and one of the mercs says something, or Joey No Pants says something, and one of the mercs is like, I don't like you. And he's like,
Yeah.
you don't even know me, man.
You don't even know me.
That's more Shaggy.
You
Whatever.
don't know me. Hey, Scoob. Oh, man, this
I
guy
guess he's
doesn't
kind
even
of a
know
Shaggy,
me.
too.
I mean, you do really sound like it.
Wait, Shaggy or Benny?
Both.
Oh, thanks, man. Zoinks.
Now you sound like Morty from Rick and Morty.
Oh, I can't do that because I've never seen it.
Oh, well, you
Oh,
sound
man,
like
you
him.
should watch the first couple seasons.
I tried.
You should go.
It's not.
It's not getting quieter, though. You just got to keep talking, and it stays the same volume,
Oh,
but your car goes
We're doing
further
a drive
away.
away in a fucking
Yeah.
90s movie.
So they've split up. The mercs have split up to go to the vault and whatever at this point.
Yeah, I
And,
don't know what. try to
Kano,
find- Oh, machine shop.
yeah,
Half to the machine shop, half to the
yeah.
fucking
To
vault.
Mamuli and Kano go with Treat and Joey No Pants to the machine shop. The rest of them just go to the vault. I guess they decided they were like, well, I guess we don't need to go to the casino
Yeah.
because there's nobody
There's-
there to
They-
rob.
Well, they
Cash.
did go to the casino because
Well,
Cliff,
they're in,
Clifton
like, the-
grabs the money.
Yeah, it's smart.
Yeah, that's like the main room that they're in.
Yeah.
So, because they were talking when they were walking through the hallways about like us two go to the 3rd level, us two go to the 6th level, us
Yeah.
two go to whatever.
Yep.
By the way, I did notice when they were gambling, it's supposed to be like, oh, look at these high rollers with this foreign currency.
Tens.
Well, when he grabs cash, it's just tens. He's got American money, but when they're gambling at the beginning, they have this foreign currency out. It's Italian lira, and there's 1,000 and 2,000 note bills. So I was curious. So I was like,
Like a
what were
buck
1,000? What's a
50?
1,000 note lira bill worth in 1998? About 50 cents.
Oh.
So whoever was the art director or the set director
not
for
pay
this
attention?
was just like, look, it's foreign and it says 1,000 on it.
There's a lot of zeros on that bill. I think we're gonna be okay.
Yeah, like it's kind of funny.
1 million yen.
But Kano
Not a
starts
lot.
hearing noises in like the distance, and so he goes to check it out, and he's like, "Aye, who's in there?" That's more New Zealand. I've been watching Book of Boba
No, it's
Fett
not
recently,
bad.
It's
so
Oi. Who's
I've
in
been
there?
watching Book of Boba Fett. I can't not do New Zealand.
Yeah.
now.
Well, then do Clifton's.
Crikey, hold on, crikey. All right, who's in there? And
Commander
I'm like,
Kikaris.
hey, are you in there? I can hear you. And I'm just like, it's not a sea monster.
Nobody's here. Go away.
So fucking Kano eats it, or I guess he gets eaten, but he dies. He gets
Yeah.
eaten by this fucking tentacle.
Now-
And then,
I-
but how does the gun?
How
fall?
does the gun fall, Whitney?
How like
It
he's
lands
around?
at them,
he's
yeah.
down the blah, 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 blah.
He's down the blarv.
He's down to Blair and he
He's
gets
a-
served.
He's at least 50 feet away. I would
Yes,
say.
I thought
Well,
he
and
was
he's
down
around
a
a
hallway.
corner at least. Yeah.
And,
And it
so apparently
lands
he
in their
gets picked.
lap?
Apparently he gets picked up and eaten, and this monster goes right overhead. He's playing a reverse crane game. If you can drop a gun and hit a mercenary, you win another mercenary.
Well, I
I-
think
okay, I
also
dig that.
I'm wondering, like, I mean, they're in the bottom because that's where the machine shop is, and everything's full of water. So maybe it's supposed to be like it got washed.
okay,
I don't know. It just-
maybe it was
just
supposed to be,
appears.
but it's somebody.
It
It's
drops.
somebody standing above the table, like and drop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
but
Treat goes for the gun, and
That's when Hanover
Mamuli's
comes
not
in.
having it.
Not yet. Not yet.
It is Mamuli.
Mamuli's just like,
He's
dude,
busy,
you killed
by the
him,
way.
even though you were right here in front of me the whole time. You fucking killed him.
Mamuli is busy at this point
He's looking at
over in
naked
Steve
women.
Buscemi's corner from the
Yeah.
island here, where it's just all the porno slapped up on the wall.
Oh,
'cause-
they've been Steve Buscemi from Armageddon, where he's trying to fuck underage girls.
There was some bush up there.
Some bush. Ooh.
Yeah, there was titties and bush.
Hell.
No, this is after Bush. This is during Clinton. But
Either way, I'm glad Reagan's dead.
so the mercs find Famke Janssen, and one of them's like, "Oh, so there is signs of life," and then one of the other guys goes, "And curves." And I'm like, "Well, you're gonna die." You're not allowed to say a line like that and live to the end of the movie.
No, you're not.
So they're at the vault. Djimon Hounsou opens the vault door. He's like, money, 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 money. Fucking bam!
Axe to the forehead.
Yes.
I had
awesome.
I had a very audible, like, not gasp, but it was like a huh.
I did. I was like, woo!
That was fucking dope.
Yeah, and it looks really good.
Yep.
I mean, there's not enough blood for a head wound.
No.
Well, no, but it's
but there's-
still in the head, so
Yeah.
it's being plugged.
I guess.
I'm fine with it because the movie has plenty of
It
blood.
doesn't matter. I mean, he
but-
does fall and is out of the scene pretty much immediately.
Yeah.
That's why I'm sad.
They
Because
couldn't afford
him.
Movie.
They couldn't afford him in more of the movie.
Yeah.
This axe looked good in his head. It looked
Yes.
like it was really in his head, and it
did.
looked like
We
it was
had to
him,
have-
not a dummy
we-
or a fake head.
We
so.
couldn't have a black guy die first.
No.
But we could have him die right after the Olsey.
We can have the Aussie die.
Yeah, get out here before I
Because
kick
get
your
that
ass.
fucking pillager out of here.
Get that fucking communist. No, they're not communists.
Prisoner.
And
Yeah, get that prisoner.
and these mercs open up, and of course, Canton and the captain move out of the way, but the rest of the crew that was in there with him, which looked like a butler and a couple of maids or something.
Yeah,
just
I thought
get
one was
lit
a
the
rich
fuck
guy.
up.
Like,
They were
Oh,
innocent
it might have
people.
been.
yeah.
Dude, and it's hilarious because these guys start firing, and obviously they didn't do squib work on this scene, so they just had like the holes in their shirts and stuff. So there's no holes. We show the mercs, they start firing, like for a split second, we go back, and these people have 500 holes in them.
So many.
No, that's cool. I mean, you couldn't afford squibs, so you did something.
I mean,
they had
I'm not
blood on them?
complaining. It was just funny. There's blood and there's holes in the shirts and stuff.
Yeah.
No, it's a good
It's
thing to
just
notice.
funny that it just cuts to, and we've unloaded all of our rounds into you.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, nobody ever reloads these guns.
No, we do see
Yeah, they do.
Treat Williams. We see him do it once.
We see
Okay.
Hanover and
Because it
Clifton
has this
and
weird, like,
Treat do it.
cylindrical cartridge in
Yep.
the middle of the gun. Like, because I
Okay.
noticed Treat doing it. I was like, well, that's fucking cool.
Yeah. And again, I thought about you. I'm like, I wonder if Jack thinks this is how, like, this is accurate. Like,
I
if
mean,
that's
it's a
way to
fucking
do it.
underwater space gun. So it's as accurate as you want it to be.
But logistically speaking,
Yeah, it could work. There are guns that load. There's God, it's like a P90. No, it's a workout. Anyway, it's one of the ones from the James Bond movies where all of the rounds are in like a very long tube on the back of the gun. So I mean, there is different loading mechanisms.
Okay.
Okay, and I mean it's based off some Chinese guns, so
Yeah, it probably does load
Might
that
not
way.
be-
They
might
just
not be
added all the
something-
other
yeah.
bullshit bells and whistles.
So we're slowly getting everybody together, right?
Uh-huh.
So we've got the half of the mercs, the owner and the captain and Famke upstairs, and the three people who are left downstairs. And Mamuli starts having a freak out because he hears noises. You know, there's a monster, and this dude is just screaming and firing and like going crazy. And he gets grabbed by this tentacle. Like, if I remember right, it came out of the water, so it was like a Star Wars, like fucking
Like the trash compactor monster.
compactor scene, which is all I was thinking when Famke Janssen's walking through the water at one point. I was like, trash compactor.
3PO, turn it off.
Oh, they're getting crushed.
Oh no!
That was too slow.
Listen to the
Curse
sounds of
my metal
agony.
body. He's freaking out, and he gets grabbed by this tentacle, and this thing just whips him back and forth, beating him into walls and
I
plates.
love
Dude,
this
it was
kill. It was
awesome.
fantastic.
This is a great kill because we're not seeing a whole bunch of the CG now.
I do
it's
like
there,
that.
but
I did like that in the beginning. They're not really showing the monster. I
they're
like
doing
that.
a Jaws.
Yeah, they
I
took the
love
Jaws
that.
thing, and even when
Yeah.
they do show the tentacles, until like the third act, when they do show the tentacles, like we did see a tentacle here finally.
Yeah.
But it was like in the shadows across the top of the
Yes.
frame, and you can still see it wasn't great CG, but it's like
It looks fine.
hints of the monster.
I almost like that better than the big reveal. Like I do.
You do have
we
to
do
show the
appreciate
monster.
the big reveal, but I like that it wasn't the huge focus. Like you
Yeah.
said, the Jaws way of doing it. I think it makes it even more not intimate, but
Special.
that other word, suspense.
Oh, that-
Suspenseful, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's like that's why I think so. I'm a fan of big monster movies. I've got a bunch of Godzilla movies
What?
and stuff.
you.
And that's why I think the first one is always the best one, because usually it's hints and it's this and that, and then you get the reveal. And it's something like Godzilla. Obviously, you're going to see the full monster a lot longer, but you don't see him all the way up front. You see like, you know, a flash of him underwater or like the ridge of the top of the water where he's swimming. But then later movies, once you know the monster and it's coming back, the whole movie is just monster, monster, monster,
Yeah.
and it's not as
You're,
exciting.
you're in a different movie now.
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, so Mamuli is now paced.
Bye bye.
He's no Mamuli.
And the monster starts chasing. So at this point, they think it's a bunch of creatures.
Because that's kind of how they're posing it to you.
Yeah.
I almost at one point was like, is it like eels? Do we have a bunch of like angry eels in this ship?
Yeah, because they're just like these weird. They think that's what they think it is. It's like a snaky type of eel monster, like a bunch of them.
It's Clayton, right?
Cliff Clayton, or which one?
Clifton or
Cliff
Curtis?
The asshole guy who made this boat.
Canton.
Canton. He's the
Lot
one
of
that
Cs
says that
in this sea.
Otias.
Yes. Much later, he's the one that fucking knows about this because the whole time I was like, where's our marine biologist nerd?
Right.
Where's our person that's like, well, judging by this, the goo, the this, it's going to have to be this type of creature. No, this fucking rich playboy, weed-smoking Elon Musk guy studies octopi in his spare time.
If his life's dream was to build a big boat, he probably likes the ocean.
Yeah.
He likes being above it.
Yeah.
He thinks he's better than it.
But he needs to know what's down there in case he gets in it.
No, he doesn't. He just humbles. He gets humbled by an octopi.
He also I think he assumed he might have to be in the ocean at some point, knowing that he set this thing up to be hijacked.
Yeah.
So he's like, all right, what's in this ocean?
Oh, those little guys won't hurt me.
A murder golf ball with pencil legs, or whatever he calls it.
But that's only at 20 feet, right?
Yeah, I have it
20,000,
written down when we get there. I don't remember. But it's so they're running away from the monster, and this is the part I saw. Yeah, the floorboards popping up. It's straight out of the thing. It's
loved
fucking
it.
awesome.
Yeah. Looked good.
They're popping up, following them, and it's that whole, we get the door closed just as the last one pops up.
It's also very Trimmers, like when they're doing the planks and shit. I love it.
Is this a scene where Jean Grey is talking to Treat and like?
Oh yeah, so I forgot she actually got away. They found her. The Mercs found her, but she's not with them yet because then they have found the other people and she snuck off.
Yeah, once they start shooting, she's like
Mm-hmm.
because she meets Treat and Famke and Joey No Pants meet up right now.
Yeah.
They don't overly sexualize her too much, and especially because she says something to Treat.
And he's like, I'll get whatever I want.
This was to me, I watched this and I was like, that's a classy Treat Williams line.
Exactly.
It's like when we were doing Venomous and he's like saying kind of sexual stuff to his ex-wife, but also like
respectfully.
So
yeah, she says,
she's like,
how about we make a deal?
Here.
You get me out of here. You could have whatever you want. And he kind of looks like it's Treat, so you know it's not a swarmy look.
Yeah.
But if it was anybody else, it'd be like ooh, I can get anything I want.
He's like,
and she kind of looks like, oh great, another dude that wants to just fuck me.
Yeah.
And he goes, can you give me a cold beer? And she smiles like, aw.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to fuck me. He just wants to get drunk.
And that's another Chekhov's gun line. Like they did a good job. The writing in this movie was pretty good.
This movie is solid.
Yeah.
I think if you had the better graphics, it would hold up nowadays.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I'm saving it for later.
Yeah.
So they meet on the elevator, and then when they get to where they're going, the Mercs and the other people are waiting to get on that elevator. So they're all on the same elevator now. They have a little standoff, whatever. They decide we just need to get the fuck out of here.
This elevator's going up and down because this fucking
also, and we run into it, but yeah, why would you be on the elevator?
Yep.
There's got to be stairs.
Yep. But yeah, the whole time watching, I'm like, this elevator situation. Okay, let's just say there aren't, I almost said space squids. If there isn't killer sea squids or whatever this is, the boat is fucking trashed.
Yeah.
These shouldn't even be online.
No.
Yeah.
The only thing that kept working after the disc uploaded were the windshield wipers. Those things never fucking stopped. And I was laughing. I was like, oh, these guys are just trying.
Yeah. He said that when they get to it, and I know I'm skipping to the front. He said he's melted it to the core. Like nothing could ever be repaired. Nothing could get turned back on.
So that being said, elevators should be out.
How is there still power and lights? How are elevators still working?
The auxiliary power can explain lights, but not the elevators.
And doors opening and closing.
Yeah. That's Star Wars.
It's plot armor?
Yep.
Okay.
That's plot mechanics.
Plot mechanics. Got it.
But on the elevator, so you know what else is still working? The music.
Yeah.
Because you get
from
Ipanema. Yeah, that's playing in the background. That's all. That's the only part I know. Then the rest of it's just the humming.
Yeah.
Oh, is that why it's stuck in his head?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because someone was like, "What the fuck is that?" And he's like, "It's the girl from Ipanema."
Joey No Pants or Benny No Pants is like, it's stuck
Joey
in my
No
head.
Pants.
It's Joey No Pants.
I like Benny No Pants.
Yeah, whatever. As long as there's no pants, we know who you're talking about. But yeah, so speaking of elevator not working, it starts to drop while they're all on it.
Did you notice the numbers?
I just saw him going sporadically up and down.
It was going like 10, 7, 8, 9,
Well, yeah,
7,
this is
8.
when they start getting jerked around. I think the monster has grabbed the elevator and it's shaking it around.
You know what it
because
is?
They are trying to get the elevator.
This monster is making shake and bake. It's trying to season up these bad
Shake
guys. It's got
and bake.
We find out that the monster doesn't eat people alive; it drinks them alive. Is the way that Canton puts it, because it digests them and then spits out their skeletons. So he's trying to skip a step. He's got all the people in this thing. He's just going to shake it up, get the liquid slosh going, open the elevator, and just guzzle it.
It's like when you put a clove of garlic in a jar and shake it, and just the garlic comes out and the peel stays in. That's what he's trying to do.
So he's making a dirty martini.
Yes, he is. He's making a dirty martini.
The elevator drops to the ground or to the bottom floor. They're all dead, and then the movie's over.
I drink your elevator. I drink it up.
But they don't die.
No,
Is that
they don't.
Al?
No. That's Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh.
And There Will Be Blood. If I have my straw all the way over there. It's a great movie.
It's a good movie. I don't know if you've seen it.
Probably haven't.
It's like 3 hours, but it's worth it.
You realize I didn't watch, what's that one
Gangs
movie?
of New York.
Aliens.
Until like last year, 2 years ago?
Yeah, like 2 years. It was.
Because
I think
the
it was
TV
during
was
COVID.
still over here.
I think it was during COVID.
Gangs of New York, better movie, but I also love There Will Be Blood.
Yeah.
Speaking of There Will Be Blood.
There will
Do you
be
need to
blood.
go potty?
No.
Wow.
Speaking of There Will Be Blood, I got to take a shit.
So the elevator hits the bottom and the doors blow out and they all walk out just fine.
Just
I
fine.
do
You know
love
what?
that
They
the
jumped
robot
right before
voice.
it hit
It says,
I was waiting for them to show that, by the way.
Yeah, like, wait for it. Wait for it.
As they're falling, I expected one of them to be like, if we jump at the last second.
It should have been Joey No Pants. Like, shut the fuck up, Joey. That doesn't work. What do you think you are, Bugs Bunny?
But yeah, as they're leaving,
the elevator is just like, this elevator's out of service.
Yeah, you betcha.
it's a smart elevator. So
But
they-
don't they get back in it?
it's probably a different elevator. There's going to be more elevators on this
It
ship.
looked like it was the only one way in and out of that
Got
bastard.
over 400 people on this ship. That elevator can only hold
One
like 20.
way.
God, what a
in
terrible
and
elevator
out.
situation with 400 people. There's also only one bathroom.
Yeah, well, somebody's like, I got to take a shit, but I want to do it in my own fucking quarters. Can you just get... Okay, I'll wait for the next elevator. It's fine, but can you please make it quick?
Yeah.
I know you're going up to the 40th level and we're on the second, but just send it back down, please.
Terrible planning.
But they do find a room full of gooey skeletons. Or is it an elevator full? It's another elevator. No, I don't know. Whatever.
No,
they go into a room.
The gooey skeletons are later when.
Well, there's
they're-
more later.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a hallway.
Oh, it's just the hallway.
This is
That's
the
right. 'cause
hallway.
They,
Oh,
it's
that's
when they
right.
get out of the
Over and
elevator and
street.
they turn.
Clifton steps on a skull that just fucking disintegrates.
Yeah. Yeah, and that actually
This is the cool
makes
scene.
Well, this is right before he steps on it. Yeah, that's right. It's a hallway full of skeletons because it's a long metal hallway,
And
and,
then-
this is when the
The door
tentacles
is
start
flexing.
crushing. Yeah, the door is flexing out, and I was watching to see if it was one of those things where it's like it's rubber, and they push on it from the back, but it looked like they tried to make it like a metal door.
Yeah.
And it's crunching while it's pushing out, which is actually cooler. And then the hallways are getting crushed in by like tentacles.
And you can see the imprints of the tentacles. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
they do a fucking phenomenal
This thing
job.
was badass. Like this one right here, another star.
Yep.
Yeah, and it stops because they're quiet, so the monster stops, and it's a very long tension scene, which was good. It goes and it goes, and you're sitting there and you're like, "What the fuck?" And you know it's gonna
But
happen,
it wasn't
but when?
too long.
Uh-huh.
I thought it was
Well,
a
no,
perfect
it was
amount
longer
of
than I
time.
thought it was gonna be, but that's what I mean. It wasn't bad.
Oh, here's a great point, too, because now there's a gun on the ground from somebody's body. We don't know
Yeah.
which one of these guys. It could be the Aussie. Could be, and Treat goes to grab it, and
Hanover's
Hanover's
like-
puts his foot on it, and he's like, no fucking way. Then this door starts flexing, the hallway starts flexing. He's like, here you go.
He kicks it up.
He kicks it up like,
with his foot.
I've changed my mind.
That was
Please
a
help
pretty
me
slick
shoot
move.
this.
That was a pretty slick move,
quick.
though.
It was a
Just
quick
kick that
turnaround.
shit.
Yeah.
Like a fucking European playing soccer.
Because when he did it, when he put his foot on it, I was like, dude, come the fuck off it. You guys are surrounded by something and you have no idea what
Right?
it is. Give everybody a gun.
Yeah.
You're dumb. And then he flipped it up. I was like, okay, quick flip. Good job,
Yeah.
buddy.
There's
And
another scene with the gun that we'll get to with her.
Okay.
yeah, that was funny. So they're waiting. It's the tension, and that's when Clifton moves and steps on the skull, and you hear that crunching sound, and then the monster just fucking crushes this hallway and like blows the door out, and is just like coming at them at this point.
Yeah. Oh my God, it was
and
fantastic.
it barely matters, but Famke Janssen had grabbed just a pistol
Yeah.
off of the table. I think it was Hanover's. So she's got that.
Right.
I don't
But there's
think we- I
another
don't think
scene.
Oh, no, I just don't think we had said it
Oh,
yet.
No,
yeah.
Because
They-
she does use this weapon.
Yeah.
That's why
She
it
does.
matters that she has it.
Because this is the part where like they're running away, they go back down the way they came, right? Or something.
Yeah, they're back in the main like.
There's so many
Thing.
hallway like
I
people
got lost.
People get sectioned off. Like I like it, but I'm having trouble recalling where they are in the movie because there's so many times where it's like, well, they're in a hallway.
Yeah,
again.
it's just nameless hallways.
We
so
got
it
the
doesn't-
shining hallway.
And a lot of them are like access hallways, not like it's not like, oh, here's one with rooms and here's one with this. Most of them are like metal access tunnels.
Yeah,
at
they're
the
in the
bottom of the ship.
sub-levels here.
It's the behind the scenes of the cruise ship.
Well, because it was funny too, actually mentioning the sub levels when the elevator was falling and you see the numbers going down,
And then
it gets to 1, and I was like, here's the hit, and then it's like S1, S2, S3, S4, and I was like, whoa.
Oh. Yeah, no, this is the Titanic. This is where they have all the poor minorities shoveling coal.
Yeah.
They don't even have. They don't. Even, yeah.
the
They don't have. They
engine
don't even
room.
have like a window, like a little porthole to look
Nope.
out of.
You get nothing. You will
You
die
just
down
you just
here.
get seasickness.
Oh.
But they get
And that's
back
what
to
you
like.
eat.
I think they're in their main. Ugh.
I did it to myself.
I think they're in the main like hall where they started, kind of, and it's where Treat reveals that he knows that Canton was the contact.
Yeah.
Because
Well, isn't this
Hanover
where everybody's
says
meet up?
yeah, they're all in the main
Okay.
thing. They're all together, and Hanover says something about like, there was somebody mentions there should be a bunch of ways to contact the outside world, and I think the captain is like, no, all the systems are jammed, or something jammed the systems, and that's when Treat's like, not something, someone.
Dun dun dun.
You said you had a contact on here.
Canton has this speech because they're like, why would you want to do this? Didn't this ship cost millions? And he's like, $487.6 million. He's all proud of it, but
I'm not
then
gonna
he's
let
like,
some pencil neck bank lenders take the ship away from me.
exactly, because then he's like, well, there's even if we kept operating at full capacity, we'd never make our money back, and
Didn't
blah blah
do the
blah.
math
I'm
right.
like, first of all, charge more. These people are rich; they don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah. $1 million.
Basically, he reveals that he was doing this for the insurance money.
Yes.
The ship is insured, the voyage is insured.
But are the
Treat,
people?
yeah, treat the people insured. He's like, I'm not a monster. I've never done anything bad. I mean, I've done bad things, but not anything that bad.
Yeah. No, he wanted to rob this place, but not kill everybody. But it also
Why
seems
would
like
they
he
hit
doesn't
it
give a
with a
shit,
torpedo?
though, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
just-
ideally, I think everyone
He
would have
did
been on
say
life
he would.
rafts.
Yeah, he did say that.
But
Yeah.
he doesn't seem too shook up. Like, there should be a moment where he's like, oh, man, I fucked up. This was never part of my plan. But he's like, well, here we go.
He's a swing with the kind of guy.
Yeah.
Well, this is when Famke gets the gun because she also changes because I noticed she's now
Oh,
in like
this
her
is where
action
she's
gear.
getting it. Gotcha.
She's not in this tight red dress anymore. She's in
Yeah.
her action gear.
I gotta
but
say,
I was
she
sitting here
dresses
like,
down well.
Yes, she does.
She walks
And
up next
Treat
to
even
Treat
looks
and
at
he
him.
says she looks good. But I'm sitting here going, when did you change? You were
I
just
know.
you were in this big room with all these dudes who've
Yeah.
been oogling you the whole
No
time.
peeking. They're on the honor system.
We know how to.
Mooley's dead, so nobody's trying to fuck her as hard as he is.
There's a way women know how to get out of it. So the dress, you can just like take your arms through the straps, and then you put your shirt over, and then you just pull the dress down.
You know what I would have liked though?
Already,
I would have liked a scene of like Treat Williams standing guard and be like,
Yeah.
"Here, go ahead and change." Like, opening his jacket and holding it out. Like, no one fucking look. Just
The
be
real gentleman
be
Treat
the
is.
true gentleman that he is.
Oh.
We know you, Treat.
We see you, Treat. Rest in pictures,
After
babe.
the exposition scene here, the
it's like
Joey,
Spaceballs. Everybody got it. Says it right to the camera.
Joey No Pants is standing there and stuff starts dripping on him, goo,
Oh.
which I would presume would be like acidic, but it's not.
Did
in
it
this
look
case.
like semen to you?
Not the
This
semen I've
boat's
seen.
covered in blood and semen.
Oh God! It
Found
is
semen in her,
a
Jack.
pleasure cruise. Semen, semen in this boat.
Yeah, it's
I
a
did
boat.
think
Where
it
else
was
would
gonna
they
It
be?
should have been acidic.
Especially as soon as, because now Joey No Pants is noticing. Everyone looks up, and we get a decently bad CG tentacle, which is
But there's
fine. I'm not
like, it
complaining
is
much.
crisscrossing everywhere.
Yeah.
And you see a person moving through it. Like you see a
And
you
lump, like
hear
it looks
the
like a
screeching.
snake swallowing somebody.
Yeah.
And that's when you see the
Yeah.
hand push out, which doesn't look good. But
And
again,
who
it
do they
gives you
dump
the
out?
idea. It's Billy.
It's
Oh,
Billy.
no, it's
This
Billy!
motherfucker's only half digested. It's like the monster knew.
Dude,
Literally have.
Yeah, it's psychological warfare because he's got. This reminded me of the Mummy.
Yes.
The CG.
Yes.
I was
for
thinking
the,
Batman. But
well, yeah, very much. So it looks like Two Faces in the Mummy.
Yes.
No, because it's got that like almost completed
Half
mummy
side.
look, and he's got the bones sticking out of his hands. This didn't look as terrible as
I
a lot of
accepted it.
shit from 98 and 99. It just didn't.
I accepted it.
so really quick, speaking of just the CG and stuff, I mentioned ILM did it for this movie, right? So they also do the Mummy. They presumably they did most of his movies after this, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, the guys at ILM had a a joke that they had come up with that was their Stephen Sommers scale
Okay.
of digital effects in a certain movie scene. And they have 4 parts to the scale. The lowest is what the shot needs. The second is what the computers can handle. The third is, oh my God, the computers are about to crash. And then the fourth is what Steven wants.
Oh, so Steven goes to 11.
Turn it up to 11.
Because, I mean, you think about the Mummy has an excessive amount of digital effects, too. We're not just talking about, like, CG, like monsters and stuff. We're talking about just all digital effects combined. You know?
Yeah.
You know, the composite shots and the different effects and the sand blowing through the
sand
air.
with the
and, like,
face.
yeah, so.
Any of that.
Do you know what I said at this point when it reveals it's Billy?
Mm-mm.
Oh, Billy.
Oh, Billy.
You know what I thought? He fucking pops out and he's doing this scream as he's like dying.
Kill me.
This is Christopher Lloyd's scream from Who Framed Roger Rabbit when he's getting dipped. Like it sounded exactly like the Christopher Lloyd Toontown
and his
scream.
eyeballs
Sounded
pop
just
out.
like this.
Yeah, pretty much.
Ooh, when are we doing that one?
Never.
Yes, we're gonna do
Too good
Who
of a
Framed
fucking
Roger
movie,
Rabbit.
man.
That's
Have you
what
watched it
Yeah.
recently?
I love it.
it's great. That's what moving forward our mental health month will be. It'll be the good movies.
Yeah, the ones that
Okay.
save us.
That we can still make
So
fun
it's
of.
not gonna be Bay.
No.
Uh-uh.
No, we're not doing months of Michael Bay anymore.
No,
I can't do that.
I don't know how I survived.
Did
I
we,
don't know
though?
if I did. Yeah, this
I
could
think
be
this
purgatory.
is. I think we're in purgatory right
this
now.
could be heck.
I mean, halfway through, I was like, do we really need to do this podcast?
And that's when Derek quit.
I just take all the gear, set it on the curb, sign, free. You watch Michael Bay movies.
Armageddon out of here. We're done being bad boys.
This is when Kenton gives the speech about the octopus thing. So
Yeah.
it's the Archaea Atoya family.
If you say so.
Sure. And he says, like at 4,000 feet, they're no bigger than a pencil.
With the body of a golf ball.
At 10,000 feet, they can eat sharks. So he goes, so 30 to 40,000 feet.
You do the math.
Yeah.
It can eat a Titanic.
Apparently.
It can eat a ship. Is
Also,
that what you're saying?
I mean, I don't know a lot about distances or the ocean, but like, is the ocean 40,000 feet deep?
There are so on the opening of this movie, it does give you that little the
underwater cave.
Yeah.
That
Thing
is
about
big.
it-
It's got.
it's the abyss basically.
they're basically talking about the
underwater
Mariana
mountain
Trench.
ranges.
Yeah,
They're
you
kind of talking about the Mariana Trench, but this
Yes.
isn't. I don't believe this is where the Mariana Trench is. I
But
think
they
it's in the
set it up
Pacific,
though that
but-
there is this underwater area is big enough to hide the Himalayas.
Yeah.
like
So
there's no
that
way that we
alone
could
is
know.
deep.
I guess, and that's something why I brought up. I don't know about distance because I don't know
Yeah.
how many feet are in a mile. Some 5,000
5,000.
something.
I know 20,000 leagues under the sea is a lot.
Yeah, I don't know what a league is.
I don't
though.
know. I don't know.
I think it's a kilometer.
It's like 32 teams.
It's a not
Hey,
a
you know what?
kilometer.
You know what? You do the math.
I don't want to.
That's my new answer for everything I can't figure out, dude. It's like, hey, 20,000 feet, you do the math.
So
I can't.
after he tells the story about the monsters that digest things with liquids or whatever, this is
Trying
when we
to
get
drink
that
your
that
skeleton.
line we kind of joked about earlier. Joey No Pants is like, well, how could this get any worse?
Yeah. Couldn't possibly get any
Blackout.
worse, man.
And then blackout, and they're like, "Fuck you, Joey No Pants."
Joey, how dare you?
So they're trying to leave, and they're going down, and this is when he's humming "Girl from Ipanema," and they're like, "Dude, you need to stop that." And he's like, "I can't get it out of my head."
And then he just continues to hum.
I don't know if it's now or later, but at one point somebody has a gun to his head and is like, you are fucking expendable. And he's like, yeah, isn't that the story of my life? He's not expendable. He's the only one that can work on this engine.
Yeah.
You're good here, Joey Pants.
That
No,
was
Joey
that
No
was
Pants.
earlier. I think that's the same time when he's like, "I don't like you." I think that's that scene I was
Yeah.
talking about.
It just
You
made
don't
me
even
laugh.
know
Like,
me,
you
man.
are not expendable, actually.
Yeah.
You're kind of solid here.
Yeah. You have a purpose.
So they get to the door they're trying to get to like do whatever. I guess they're trying to get to his boat, right?
Uh-huh.
There's a door that's supposed to escape, but the door is buckled. So this thing knew, like, that's the outdoor. Fuck that. Shh.
Oh, yeah.
So
Are you telling me this thing thinks?
Yeah, somebody said that. You're telling me this thing thinks now? It's like, well, yeah.
I think any living creature thinks
I
one
think
way or
it's coming
another.
up. I think it's after one more kill. It's coming up because they're hurting them.
I don't think it's having like an existential crisis, but it thinks.
Not hurting.
It's not
them, but
writing
hurting.
philosophy.
Yeah, when they said it, I had to look at the subtitles because like it's hurting us. It's been hurting you. Oh, it's hurting you. Got it.
By the way, speaking
It's
of the
sheepdogging
subtitles,
us.
at one point, Joey No Pants says something. He's like, "Oh, that damn whatever," and the subtitles said "darn."
Yeah.
I
Like,
was
come
like-
on.
I was like, apparently, people who are hard of hearing are more sensitive in their language.
I don't like reading the word damn.
So they're backed into this corner. The door's buckled shut, and there's this water. And basically, Canton tells them, well, the only way to get through here is to go under this hatch, which isn't supposed to be filled with water, obviously.
Right. Really? That's not how that boat's designed.
And like it's about 20 meters, whatever. So Treat Williams, Hanover, and Mulligan go diving through there to get to the other side to find like an alternate exit.
This is where Joey No Pants is like, hey, if you're going for a swim, I think it's your turn to carry the parts. I thought, well, now he's dying.
That was my thought. I was like, well, Treat
just-
has to have the parts so he can
The movie
escape.
dictates you were alive because you had the parts. You just killed yourself, Johnny No Pants.
But he also says, Treat says, like, I'll fire the gun twice to let you know that we made it to the other side. I never heard him fire.
Also,
Well, they didn't get to that point because they're standing there, and I think it's Clifton Powell's character, or
yeah.
Someone says,
an arm lands on them.
Yeah.
Like there's this hand that goes over their shoulder, and they like flinch and look.
It's a Samuel
And then they
Jackson
move,
Jurassic Park
and then the
move.
whole
but
arm
that's,
falls.
That's not that. It was Hanover, not.
Oh, was it
Powell.
Hanover?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just remember it was one of them. But
Because Clifton's
can you
with
imagine?
That's right, because on the other side, Clifton's still over there, and he goes, because he's like, I don't want to sound like a pussy or nothing, but this shit's starting to freak me out, man.
Just now? Just now? Also, think about trying to squeeze off just 2 rounds with this fucking Gatling gun.
True.
And be like, oh, nope, that was 20.
Oh, turns out they're dead. Not going that way.
Yep. Did he fire 2 or is that 200?
Oh, and Joey No Pants has a funny line too, which I guess, according to the trivia at least, was like an improv line. I guess a lot of his stuff was improv. But
Good.
like,
That's probably
he's
why it
like,
was
Yeah,
great.
let him
Wait.
run.
can you just like get asthma or like just be born with it?
My
That
ass
was
wanted to look it up too. Like, well, he's on to something here.
Like, you can develop it.
Can you just like, get asthma, man? Maybe he's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline.
Make believe.
Maybelline.
No, maybe it's
No commercial.
No, make
That's-
believe is better.
That's the tagline for Sidekicks. Maybe he was born with it. Maybe it's
Maybe
make
it's
believe.
make-believe. Damn. Sidekicks always comes back to sidekicks here.
So the monster attacks them. Canton runs off in an opposite direction because he clearly knows something that he's not telling everybody.
Yeah.
But it's funny because Mulligan is looking at the blueprints that are on this computer thing, and he's like, I can see the blueprints right here. And he's like, yeah, who do you think gave you those blueprints? Like, I know this is the only way out. I'm like, well, you're looking at the blueprints. You don't see it?
Yeah. Well, maybe since he's the one that gave you the blueprints, maybe he left off some sneaky stuff.
Canton does run off, but this isn't where he's splitting up from them. He jumps in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He dives underneath, because then we get the moment with Famke Janssen with the machine gun, because she got one of the guns from, I think it was Mulligan,
Yeah,
right before he
because
went in the water.
Treat was like, give the lady a gun.
So speaking of the 2 shots I was talking about, he grabbed the pistol from her, and I thought, oh, that's how he's squeezing off
Yes.
two shots.
Okay.
And she gives this look like, what? All of a sudden, you don't give a fuck she saved his life with this gun earlier. We
Yeah,
didn't
she
talk
has.
about.
Call it even.
Call it even. So she now
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like getting taken away from her, and it's like, oh, dude. But then Treat's
Clifton.
like, I think it's time we give her a real gun.
And Hanover's like, Clifton, give it, well, whatever Clifton's name is.
Yeah.
No,
Clifton.
it's Mulligan who gives it to her. The guy with the face.
No, it's the black guy.
He's been looting bodies as they go through
Yeah.
this level of
He's
video
played video
game.
games.
Yeah,
He's like, ooh, got 2 of these now. Yeah.
you've reached your weight capacity. You can't
Oh.
fast travel.
You've been over encumbered.
But yeah, so Canton takes off. Famke Janssen said she could handle this machine gun. She starts firing at this fucking creature, and it just flies backwards into the water.
She gets recoiled way back. It's awesome.
Into the nasty brown water that people are swimming through with their eyes open to get through.
Well, how else you get through? You didn't bring any goggies.
Joey No Pants follows her, and Clifton stays behind, and he's shooting the monster. And the monster grabs him and starts eating him. So it's pulling him down the hallway, and he pulls out this grenade.
We haven't seen a grenade yet, so I'm a little shocked, but I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. This dude is the only person going out with a bang.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, literal.
And it unfortunately is like a CG explosion. We get another real grenade explosion later.
Uh-huh.
But this one's a very CG explosion. Because everything in this shot, I think, is computer except for the little image of Clifton getting pulled away.
That was like a cardboard cutout, like in High Spirits.
And they meet up on the other side, and they're like, they're in a kitchen, right? And basically they're like, we can't. There's no way we can call for help. Like, isn't someone just going to come
Derek,
looking
on
for
a
you
ship,
guys?
it's a galley. I think Under Siege taught us anything. It's that it's a galley.
It's
and
a
also,
galley.
take my pies out of the oven.
Check my pies.
Pies.
Check my pies.
God, how terrible if he's on this fucking boat. Because he wouldn't leave Famke Janssen alone if he was on this boat with her.
Hey, let me show you something. He starts
Hey.
kissing her, and she's like, What are you doing?
Your thighs. Let me check out your thighs.
So another thing that Famke has that you probably like is the tuft of hair. I know she doesn't have the hat on
if
backwards.
she had a backwards hat, she's looking extra spunky.
Yes.
But this way we know she's tough.
Yeah.
It's
She's a tough girl. She's a tough.
But they find out that they're not, like, because that's what I was thinking. I was like, well, someone, even if you don't have a call for help, you're supposed to be somewhere.
Yeah.
Someone's going to come looking for you. But the captain says they checked in just before they went.
Gone.
Not the captain. Is the captain
No,
still
no.
with them?
It's the captain. I think is already dead.
Yeah, no, it's
We didn't
it's
talk about it.
Canton.
He gets pulled under, like through the grate,
Oh, they're trying to help him.
and they're trying to help him. And like,
Yeah.
you see at one point his leg again, just like the chick in the bathroom. That leg is above his head.
Yep.
You know, and just sucked right through. So
just
captain's
like
gone.
that chick in the bathroom.
Just like that chick in the
This
bathroom.
monster's got her legs above her head.
Are you flexible? Nope, doesn't matter. Crunch. But yeah,
You are
They
Right
find
now.
out it's going to be at least 24 hours before anybody even thinks to look for them.
So now
because
the
they
dude
checked
with the
in.
face
Yeah.
is like, dude, we can just hole up here like for a couple days. It's
Yeah,
airtight.
and Joey No Pants is like, sounds like a pretty good idea to me, man.
I don't know, man. This thing's loaded with snacks.
I got
Anybody
food.
see that
And-
giant dog over there?
It's airtight.
He's got like CO2 poisoning. There's a talking dog that told me to get him a burger. Nobody sees that but you. Oh, man.
There's more monsters on this ship, man. Talking dogs. There's a guy in a mask.
Still
Oh,
sounds.
man. I watched that imaginary chick pee earlier. Famke Janssen's like, that. I'm not imaginary. Oh, man, that was awesome.
It's still Rick and Morty right now, and I love it.
I'm glad I'm not stealing from something I've never seen.
No, but I totally can hear like that. Can't you hear Morty doing?
Yeah. I mean, Morty is supposed to basically be Marty McFly, so
Yeah.
he's kind of got a cracky
He's a
voice.
Michael J. Kroc.
Treat tells this interesting story about an octopus and a jar of fish, and I mean it's true. These days with
Where
the
the
internet,
fish?
you can see videos all over the internet of people with octopus like solving problems.
What's that? My octopus teacher is phenomenal if you
Yeah.
haven't seen it. Like, that'll showcase what,
I
what
have
he's
seen
talking
parts of that,
about.
and it is
Great.
amazing.
And he tells the story about this guy who put a fish in a jar, sealed it tight, gave it to the little octopus, and within 2 minutes, the octopus had the jar open and ate the fish.
What is the point of the fucking story, says somebody.
We are the fish.
Yeah, Famke
Yeah.
Janssen's like, well, I'm not stupid. We're the fish. This is the jar.
I heard the story. I'm living the disaster. I get it.
So
fucking
the tentacle
word.
like sneaks up on Mulligan. It comes out through like the hood
Uh-huh.
of the stove here.
Which I gotta say, I love what they do here because it's like, oh, he's gonna die.
Yeah.
Because he's like, what are you all looking at? What are y'all looking at? So it's like, oh, he's gonna get snatched up. He just starts firing over his back with his gun and
Yeah.
hits the thing, then turns around and gives him like the whole get some,
yeah,
get some.
the gas line catches on fire, so it kind of scares it away.
Yeah.
And then he turns the fire off, and I'm like, you fucking dumbass.
Yeah,
That's
that
helping
was
you.
stupid.
Sea creatures don't like fire because they don't know what it is. Come on.
Exactly. And at this point, everybody's gone.
Yeah, everybody else ran, and he's sitting there like, oh, yeah, you're fucking, what did he say? He's basically like, you're nothing. You're nothing. He's screaming up into the hood vent,
Uh-huh.
and he turns around, and there's the fucking tentacle sitting there, and he's like, clever girl.
Solid.
And he gets munched on.
By face.
Yeah, you know what? Good. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, that guy had a face, and now he's got no face.
It was just his face.
It's just-
And now
that's it.
everywhere they turn, they're trying to get out, and the monster is closing the doors and locking the hatches. Speaking of
Uh-huh.
clever
And this
girl,
is where
Yeah,
we get.
I'm
they're
wondering.
hurting
I'm like,
us.
can't if you shut that wheel, can't I just open the wheel?
It must be holding
But
it
it's
because
doing
Treat tries
something.
to do that later,
Yeah.
and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
There
But
must
yeah.
be like a lock-in gauge
You know
because
what?
Canton does it to Treat.
I
and
think
he
it
can't
shot
undo
the it shot the computer pad next to this analog wheel, and it locked it right up.
It's what we call plot lock.
Plot lock. Plot lock.
Now look, we're gonna be fine unless they figure out how to use doors. Oh wait,
That's what Sam Neill said.
exactly.
Worse.
So this is where Canton sneaks off on his
Yeah.
own.
He's like,
My-
yeah, this is nothing. You guys go that way.
I'll catch. Whew, I'm so tired. I'll catch right up.
Yeah,
I'm not
I'm
a bad
right
guy.
behind you. I'm right behind you.
I'm not a bad guy. You can trust me. You can trust me.
I didn't sail out this entire
And
ship.
go.
This isn't happening because of me.
At this point, I think we have Johnny No Pants is separated with Hanover, correct?
Not yet.
Not yet, okay.
Because
Not
they
yet.
get in. This is where they get into the gooey skeleton. Like
This is
Oh,
the
yeah.
nest.
it's like a cargo bay or something. And this
They
is
said is this a nest? I think it's a feeding ground. I think it's a litter box.
I thank you.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I thought that's
this
just
is the remains.
where
this
it
is where
shits
its
everything
butthole
out.
tentacle goes.
And we
Yeah.
all know you don't shit where you eat.
No,
Exactly.
I mean wild animals do. No, they don't.
No.
But some of them do. The stupid ones do.
I mean, it's a big boat. You can eat and then shit in different fucking like
Yeah.
port and starboard.
Port is for shitting, starboard's for eating. If I know
don't wanna
anything
mix
about
those
boats,
up.
if I know anything about boats, and I don't,
And believe
That's how
me,
that works.
I don't.
I don't even know what port and starboard mean. One's
Facing-
left and one's right.
Port is left because it has the same amount of letters.
When you're facing forward, port is on your left.
Yeah.
Okay.
And forward
And you got
is forward.
Aft and or
Oh yeah, you know
don't
you
know.
like it in the aft.
some front and back.
Forward and aft.
Helm.
No, forward.
Helm is where the spinny
The
wheel.
spinny
Helm
wheel,
is where
which
the
is
heart
in the front.
is. We need to write a romantic comedy at sea.
Yes, we do. Let's do it.
We started with the title. And
All right,
we
we'll
just
be
knew.
back.
We work back from there. Hey, Matthew McConaughey, give me a call. I got a movie for you.
All right, all right, all right.
Hey, we need to get
No,
off
it's
this
called
boat.
all starboard, all starboard, all starboard.
Hey, we need to get off this boat. You know how to drive a boat? I don't. It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
You know
That's
what I
what
love
we'll
about these sea creatures, man? I get older, they have the same rage.
That's what we're just gonna do a movie of Matthew McConaughey
yes,
quotes.
yes, we are.
Yes.
So the creature breaks the hull open while they're all in this room to try to drown them, and they run faster than flooding water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I might be able to at this point. I have a bunch of adrenaline in my body.
This is where they all get split up. So we've got Treat and Famke going one way.
Okay.
Hanover.
And No Pants going another way. And then
Okay.
Canton is snuck off on his own.
I would watch all three of these sex tapes.
Yes.
Canton on his own, just punishing his crotch. Like it's some immigrant shoveling coal in his engine room.
Ooh.
Not like that.
Okay.
No. You took masturbation and made it dirty.
They're not immigrants until they get to where they're going.
That's right. Yeah. Well, they're hopeful immigrants, which is just, sad because you can exploit them.
So here we get another
You made
grenade.
it sad.
We get another grenade, and I don't remember what happened. I just wrote grenade.
Now we have Hanover and Joey No Pants running down the hallway, and Hanover takes out 2 grenades, and Joey No Pants grabs one and just throws it. And Hanover looks at him like, "What the fuck?" And
That's
he starts like pulling the pin
twisting
on. Yeah,
it.
it's the equivalent of pulling the pin. It's arming
Yeah.
it. And he's like, "Well, you didn't tell me you had to do that. You didn't tell me yet." Have you ever seen a fucking grenade?
I know, and I love it because he says it like even after he throws the grenade and it's like
He says
blows
it
up.
again.
He's like, "But you could have just told me, man."
You could have told me to do that. But good explosion here, because that's what happens is the grenade. I think the grenade caught the other grenade.
Yeah, because it was like a
detonated it.
double.
Yeah, it was a good splogy.
And then on Treat and Famke's side, Treat realizes that he lost the engine parts. And this door is like automatically closing, and he's trying to stop it. He's like, "Look, we're fucked if I don't have these engine parts because my boat won't work."
Yeah.
But he can't obviously stop a robot. You can't stop a robot.
Can't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Can't stop the robot.
It's like a breakdancing song. Like behind you got a beat that's like.
I think it's a Fatboy Slim song somewhere
Could
in
be.
another universe.
Oh man, Fatboy Slim. That's a name I haven't heard in a
Quite
long
some
time.
Of course I know him. He's me.
Actually, I have heard that name recently. Funny story. The other day, Fatboy Slim came on a station at work,
And when I opened the next day, Fatboy Slim Radio is still on.
I turned on Fatboy Slim Radio after the song came on,
I noticed it when I walked in. I was like, I ain't mad at that.
and I was trying to remember when that first album was from. So I was like Googling Fatboy Slim, and Google has like questions people ask that are kind of like this.
I love those.
One of them was,
Uh-huh.
"How much does a Fatboy Slim cost?"
be more specific?
I don't understand the question, so I can't answer that. Hanover and Joey No Pants are running down the hall, running away from these tentacles, and
Getting
it's like
bogged down by the water.
We gotta figure out a way to slow them down, man.
How do we
Yeah,
slow 'em
I did
down?
like this. These guys are trying to run if they're doing that like floppy.
It looked like, I mean, this
they're
is how
trying
you
to
would run
through
in water.
Yeah.
It's not a superhero moment.
He's like, there's only one way to slow them down, is to feed them. Well, what are we gonna feed them, man? And immediately I'm like, well, I know what we're gonna feed them.
Why are you asking this? You know.
Well, he's also the guy that didn't know how a grenade worked. So.
That's true. And he's like, I got a breath mint and a chocolate on me.
I got a wet stick of gum.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like,
So I'm like, okay, he's dead.
yeah.
The comedy relief is about to fucking die.
What are we gonna feed him, man? Bang! You're dead, right into his kneecap, or I guess it's his thigh.
It's his thigh. It's a meaty part of the flesh.
But yeah, and so Joey No Pants goes down. Hanover runs off. The tentacle comes at him, and he narrowly escapes.
Gets into a dumbwaiter.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fucking
He learned
dumb.
that
I
from
hate
Jurassic
dumb
I
Park.
waiters.
hate dumb waiters, man. I'm pretty sure that is the etymology. It's like it's supposed to be a waiter with no brain.
That makes
Like it's
sense.
a dumb waiter.
It takes the food down.
Yeah, check my work. Prove me wrong.
No.
All right.
You do the math.
You do the
This isn't an etymology podcast.
You do the research. I won't.
This is a thing where I say things, and then when I'm editing, I realize they weren't true. So,
God, I sound like an idiot.
so Canton sees an island off in the distance. This was clearly added later. This dialogue.
Oh, I thought you meant the island.
He's up on the
Top?
deck.
Yeah,
I guess.
deck. Yeah.
There you go.
Well played.
It's shipward.
Yeah.
He's up on the deck and he looks out
Might even
and
be
he
called the
sees
poop
the lightning flashes. Poop deck. That's where everybody poops.
That's a funny word.
Because of the birds. They poop on it.
He sees the lightning flash, or the lightning flashes, and he sees an island off in the distance. And like it cuts to the island, and you just hear him go, "An island." And I feel like
Just
it's one of those things where, like,
Full
in,
ADR.
yeah, in a test screening, some people were like, "Wait, what was that? I couldn't see it." Or like some executive was like, people don't know what things are.
It's just not the right voice either. Like the whole time he's talking in his own way. An island.
It's an island, man.
It's an island.
Wrong character.
He was on set. He was willing to record it.
So Han Solo and Leia get to the Millennium Falcon.
Oh boy.
Because she even has the line, like, "What, that hunk of junk is your fucking boat?"
Yeah. Oh man. It can make the Kessel Run in 12 leagues under the sea.
They go to rappel down to it, and she's like, "Well, I think you said it wouldn't work without the parts." He's like, "I've got a plan." I don't know if he had a plan yet, but he says he did.
He
Well,
did,
the plan
because
is
he
to make it work
immediately-
without the parts.
So he ends up programming the boat's autopilot, because it's like, okay, Joey No Pants shows up and like kind of gets it to limp worthy.
Funny back and forth though too, because he's like, "All right, I can get it to work. Just give me the parts." And Treat just,
Oh.
you I lost him. You lost him?
Before that, and I have to do it because it was awesome.
Oh yeah,
Joey
please
No
do.
Pants is back in the casino / main area,
Yes.
and he feels something touch him, and he looks up, and it's Hanover, and he's like, "Oh shit!"
Oh, that's right. This is so
Yeah.
good.
Yes,
and
this
like, you
scene.
could, I mean, we could tell that Hanover's being eaten.
His
Yeah.
Because
face,
he's just
dude.
like struggling and like whatever. But like Joey No Pants gets up and turns around, and you see like the bottom half of Hanover is inside this monster, and he's pulling on this thing trying to get himself out. And Joey No
gun
Pants
is right
has he
out
grabs
of-
a gun, and he starts to leave, and he's like going to shoot fucking Hanover, which
Would have been a
good.
fine move. Like, I mean, A, you're getting revenge, and B,
Yeah.
this guy's suffering's over.
Yeah. And then he ends up. He's like, "Okay, you know what? I'll be a nice guy. I'm not gonna fucking murder you. I don't want to murder people.
Yeah.
Here's the gun. You can kill yourself.
Don't say I never gave you nothing.
Yeah, don't say I never gave
And
you
what's
anything,"
this
which is
fuck
great.
do?
That fucking dude, I was like, good. I'm glad he's dead. Joey No Pants is running away, and Hanover shoots at him.
Yep.
He shoots one bullet at him, and he's like, "What the fuck, man?"
I think
and
he
just
calls him an
leaves.
asshole, as you
I-
should.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
And then his
dickbag
comeuppance,
move.
fucking Hanover pulls the gun. He's like, "Well, fuck it then. I'm gonna kill myself." Click. Oh no!
That
I wasted my
bullet.
one
Yeah.
round.
Yep.
Suffer in the belly of a
Shithead.
sarlacc
Yep.
and while you're slowly
Yes,
digested
exactly.
for 10,000 years.
I think it's only 1,000.
Hopefully
Doesn't
this guy
matter
gets
'cause you're dead
10,000.
before
That was always a funny thing to me. I'm like, well, I'll be digested, but I'll be dead. I don't live for thousands
No,
of
but
years.
you'll be digested for however many dozens of years you're still alive.
Oh, I think I'll die pretty quick in a belly full of acid.
I mean, not if you ask.
I'd like to
Boba
see the
Fett.
poll on that.
Okay.
If you
That's
ask
what she
Boba
says to
Fett,
all
you
the
can get out
dudes.
pretty quick.
I pull myself out.
I just need a little flamethrower action. The first person to
We got
go in
Brett.
there with a flamethrower ever.
Want to see my Boba Fett dance moves? He did that one at the Grammys. So we killed that guy.
Yeah. So then that's when Joey No Pants gets back to the boat, and that's when he finds out he doesn't have the parts.
We
And
get
he's
the
like,
murmur
okay.
conversation.
And he's like, I can make this boat limp worthy, basically. He's like, but I can't go more than a city block. So Joey No Pants doesn't know about the island.
Uh-huh.
So Treat's like, hey, that's all I need. And he programs this route on the autopilot that's like a big curve, and he's like putting the torpedoes into like the broken windows and the holes in the ship and stuff. And at first I was like, well, how are you going to get... But I realized the curve must take it close enough that he's like, okay, we can jump off the boat and try to swim to the island.
I do want to say that he has sent...
I think that's what he was doing.
I thought he was doing it just to give enough time.
He sent her to get the sea-doos. That was always the plan. They were gonna.
Yes.
He had sent Famke to go get. He's like, make sure it's gassed up.
Yep.
Make sure you have the right key.
Yep. Okay, I remember him saying that line, and I was thinking he was talking about his boat for some reason.
So it's just enough to give him time to leave.
Yes.
Yeah, and to get like ramming speed.
Yeah, because they don't want their buttholes puckered, Derek.
Exactly, because these things will pucker
apparently
your anus.
That's a really bad bomb if your butthole puckered.
Because then here's the scene where we get to she's come up to it and she sees all the sea-doos and Canton fucking comes back.
With
this
the stupidest
sequence
choice of weapon.
I thought it was too much.
This sequence is one of those
flare
things
gun.
you were talking about, though, where it's like, which hallway are you in? Because he starts chasing her. I swear to God, they end up back up in the main lobby thing, which is like dozens of floors above you.
Yeah.
I don't know where they're like. This is one of those chases where it's like,
They Scooby-Dooed it.
Yeah.
In this door out there. I realized after saying it should be a double flaral gun.
Double
It's
flaral.
not double barrel, it's
flare.
double flaral.
Yeah. Oh, it's the stupidest choice. There's probably all kinds of weapons around you now at this point that all the mercs are dead, right? All of them? All of them.
All of them are
Yeah.
dead.
All of them.
Yeah.
So
Hanover
there's,
was the
you know,
last.
you got some guns on the ground here, buddy.
But also, why is he asking her for the key when there's numerous keys and numerous boats?
3 keys for 3 different sea-doos. There's only 1 sea-doo left.
No, there was 3.
I think
there.
that-
The
was
one that we
trashed.
saw, the one that we saw that was still floating and still usable was number 3.
Yeah.
Okay, I just saw a bunch of shit there.
And he does do the thing
He
of
does
like,
make the
come with me.
yeah.
Come
Yeah.
on. Me and you, we can repopulate this earth.
Yeah, we can get onto that island and repopulate. She's like, the world's fine, right? He's like, no, it's not.
But then he would just kill her anyway.
No, he'd pump some rounds into her.
He would try.
A double flaral gun.
It's too bad he's shooting blanks.
They're signal shots.
Better than Alec Baldwin's blanks, though.
Oh,
They're
God.
actually
Oh.
blanks.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
Whatever happened with
He's inappropriate, but he's
It's
not
still
wrong.
going on.
Most of it got dropped that I can remember reading about. I don't care anymore.
But this cat and mouse goes for a little too long.
It does.
We could have gotten this closer to 1:30.
It, like I said, it doesn't really make sense, but it's fine. But he finally does catch her, and he's holding the flare gun to her chin, and he's like, "I've never killed a person like on purpose."
Yeah, you killed 400 passengers,
Yeah.
buddy.
And
But I
she's
love
like,
his
"Here's the
line.
keys, just take it."
Well, I love his line though. He's like, "I don't think this will be quick, but it'll be interesting." I'm like, I'm not gonna argue with you there.
Yeah,
Like, how does a person die when you shoot a
not
flare into their
wrong.
chin?
And he in his little fucking monologue again. This asshole in his monologues.
He's a villain.
He's a Bond
Yeah,
villain.
I know.
Villain.
He has so many though. Like every time he talks, it's a fucking monologue. It's not a conversation.
That's how you know he's a bad guy.
And
They
so
talk
he
at
does.
you.
He does make the. This is true. He does make the comment that he's like, nobody can live. I can't have any witnesses.
Yeah. Unless you're willing to fuck me for the rest of your life.
Yeah,
There
'cause
you
he
go.
doesn't want anybody to find out that it's
not
all
worth
his
it.
fault.
Just
If you
kill me.
want to live in this brig that I've built at my house and be my sex dungeon
Speaking of
slave.
Steven Seagal,
Am I with Canton? Because
Yeah.
then
With
the answer is
Canton.
no.
Yeah. Treat
Am I with
Williams.
Treat? Yes.
He's too
but that's
nice to have
because
a
his
dungeon.
sex
I'd
dungeon.
probably
would,
rape him.
His safe word is no thank you.
Treat
Sorry.
Williams' sex dungeon is actually just like a plush castle.
It's the set of I Dream of Jeannie inside the bottle.
Yeah. I always wanted my room to look like that, except
Oh.
not the pink.
I'd be okay with the pink.
I wanted purple or red.
Purple, red, pink. What's the difference?
Well, you know what the pink
I guess
signified.
Colorblind asshole.
addition of white or blue.
You know what the pink signified, right?
Vagina.
Yes.
Still does.
Treat bursts in at the last second and saves her. Didn't see that coming.
No.
What?
We get the big monster reveal now. Like the tentacles start coming up out of the ground, and there's like a swirling mass
Yuck.
of spawn goo. I don't know.
Ugh.
And then this thing's head comes up, and it's just a giant octopus.
The head kind of reminds me of one of the two-headed monsters in Willow that they're fighting at the
Yes.
castle.
Yes.
Like, it kind of looked like that, but
Oh,
with
yeah.
birds.
Blarb, blarb, more blobby.
Yeah, I was waiting for fucking Matt Mortigan to swim by. You are a great swimmer.
So the thing grabs Treat, and this is how we know it thinks, because it's toying with him. It's like looking at him
Yes.
and squeezing him
It
tighter,
has
and like
quickly killed everybody else.
yeah, and it's
So
it's
now
pissed
he's
at this
playing.
point. And it knows there's not that many guys left.
I saved
so
the best for
he's like,
last,
well,
big
the
boy."
monster's like, well, that guy's got a flare gun. I don't care about that. She can't shoot those big guns, so she's good. So I'm just gonna squeeze you and fuck with you.
I've assessed the situation. You're my only real threat right now.
Yeah,
he
I
has.
can't promise you it's going to be quick, but it will be interesting.
He did tell Joey No Pants to cut the engines because they did get it started. The whole you got to be gentle. Da da da. He's like, cut the engines until I tell you to. Do it again.
They finally get it started, like not knowing if it'll start, and then immediately he's like, "Nah, turn it off."
I think everybody's here has driven a shitbox before.
Yep.
You don't turn that off.
Nope.
You try not to even stop at red lights. You take a different route. So you just keep moving.
I'm
Like
going
a fucking
full on
shark
grocery
swimming.
shopping. I'll be in there for an hour and a half. If I just lock the doors and leave it running, it'll be fine, right?
Oh, if
It
you
won't
steal this
lock,
car, good
though.
luck.
And he gets pulled up to it, and the monster turns around, and you see its vagina mouth. Now this thing, all I could
Starship
think of,
Troopers?
Yes.
Starship Troopers, not just the mouth, but just the blobular part is the
Yep.
brain bug, because I
Same
always
with
I
the
always loved
semen.
that movie. I still love that movie, but recently watching it again in 4K, that brain bug CG not working.
But that's the only CG that really doesn't stand.
no,
hold
most
up
of
in
it's
that.
fine, but that
I
thing,
think the
and
rest
it's
of it looks
smooth
great.
stuff doesn't look good.
Yeah.
So, 'cause it
looks
doesn't look
too,
real.
Too wet.
Yeah. But yeah, it turns around and it roars at him, and its eye is right up in his face, and he's just, "What are you looking at?" And pulls out his fucking boomstick and blows this thing's eyeball right
Squelch.
out of his fucking head.
I'm glad that Treat Williams got at least one line like that
Yeah.
because he doesn't get a lot of those. His biggest problem, I think, that held him back is he's a very competent actor. He never went bad enough to be off the rails Nicolas Cage style.
No.
Or even like
He got
Jean-Claude
close
where
with-
you know you're cheesy as fuck.
He got close with Phantom.
Yeah. Well,
But that's
Phantom
just
was
over the
him
top
doing
villain.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where that was your introduction to him, right?
Absolutely. And again, he's being a competent actor because he knows what he's in.
Yeah.
He's not doing a phantom villain in like a fucking drama from the 90s. You know what I mean? He's like, this is where I'm at.
Yeah.
I operate in this decade.
He
This
knew
is a
what movie he
comic
was
book
doing.
movie about a guy wearing a purple suit riding a horse through the jungle. I know
the
exactly what I'm doing.
50s. I know who I am.
And so they escape and they get back to the boat, and it looks like Joey No Pants has been turned into ectoplasm.
Yeah.
There's just like octopus goo all over
Yeah,
this fucking ship.
everything's gone.
The window's broken.
It's
so
Ghostbusters too. They're very, oh, I'm a sticky fist goo.
and I was kind of upset because I was like, really off camera?
Uh-huh.
Like,
We need it. Where's my comedic line from this
I
guy?
needed it.
yeah.
It was very sad. And this is another part where I was like, oh my God, they made it go for even longer because now they get on the Sea-Doo and they're going back and forth in the fucking thing because there's
You know
tentacles
why
here.
I'm not upset,
And there's
though?
tentacles here.
This is some great Sea-Doo work. I mean,
It
this,
is.
whoever's doing this, which it isn't Treat, they're doing a good job of hiding his head.
Yeah.
But this dude is whipping 180s in this
In a
tiny little
hallway. Yeah, it's
And,
awesome.
Yeah, if you take this out of the movie to make it shorter, I'm not too happy. If
feel
you
like I was-
take out Canton, fucking playing Mousetrap.
that I could have dealt
I
without.
felt like I was watching the Waterworld live show at like Universal
You
Studios.
betcha. That's excellent.
So speaking of, this is where they are on the Sea-Doo doing that. Canton he jumps onto the boat because
Yeah,
it's
he
starting
sees
to
the boat
drive
leaving,
away.
and he assumes that Treat and Famke are on
And
there.
I'm glad they did what they did here.
they
because
broke his leg.
There's so many times that it's just like, oh, that kind of hurt. No. Compound. This
Yeah,
bone
the-
is sticking out
Out.
of the bone of
exactly.
the skin.
He's like, "Fuck it, I'll be fine. I'll be alive if I go with
Just gotta
them."
get to this boat.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta do.
And he makes his way into the
the
helm
way,
area,
He sits in the captain's
This boat
chair.
would have been amazing in Waterworld.
Yes.
and he does. He sits in the captain's chair. He's kind of like, "Where is everybody?" Right?
Yeah.
And he sees that it's on autopilot, and it won't let him control it. Basically, for him, for his storyline here, it takes this curve that's bringing the ship right back into, or the boat right back into the ship
Yeah.
to take out the ship. For Treat and Famke, they're on the Sea-Doo. I don't really understand it though, because he's like, "Oh, that's a hell of a jump. I better get some speed." I'm like, "But the ramp you're jumping off of is in the water."
It's meant for you to do this.
It's
Yeah.
half of it is sticking out of the water.
I think
though.
the idea is that it's not been lowered. It's not like where he's at the water.
Correct.
So he's like, maybe if I jump, we'll flip.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or he's trying to clear the boat. I don't know.
He's trying to get away.
But he goes down the hallway and comes back around. And of course, when they come back out, the tentacles are blocking the door. So they got to go back the other way again.
And more tentacles are blocking them there.
Sea-Doo stunts. I love these.
They do. They finally get their way around and they jump the Sea-Doo out. But it's right as the boat is coming to the ship. And see, I know the difference between a boat and a ship. And Canton is sitting in the boat and he can't control it. And he sees that he's going to run into the ship. And he's just like, well, fuck. And this is when the screen starts flashing with the card
Gorbachev's
game.
gun.
And it's just like, game over, game over, game over. I was like,
Gorbachev's
game
gambling.
over, man.
Gorbachev's gambling.
Gorbachev's gambling here now. Yeah, game over, man.
And he hits this boat. And I know these torpedoes are supposed to have a big explosion, but this is big bada boom.
It is bada boom.
This is the biggest bada boom. You do get a little hinkiness with the graphics here because I think we're green screening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
I mean, it's a real explosion, so points there.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it is superimposed heroes.
As soon as they're coming out and the fire's coming out behind them, you can tell that they're just sitting in front of a green screen with somebody shining an orange light on them.
Yes. The explosion behind him looked good.
We'll just fix the rest in post.
Fix it in post.
The guy doing the post like, fuck you. Some things can't be fixed in post.
That's what you should do for your shirt.
Fix it in post.
Yes.
I wasn't fixed in post.
So
I
they
was.
jump off the ship. They show the fire engulfing the blob monster, and it's screaming like, "No, my plan!
I'm melting.
I'll get you next time, treat. Next time.
I'll get you, my pretty.
Would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for that damn treat.
I should have made him a treat.
So
I shouldn't have played with my food.
they make it up to this island, just
Yeah.
Famke and Treat.
They get
And
to the island. They have a little kissy.
she finds a souvenir.
Dude, I'm thinking, I don't want to fucking remember this night.
Yeah, I don't want a
So many
souvenir.
people died.
This torched life preserver, like, no, thank you.
No, thank you. I think-
Although, if you saved it for a few years, you could sell it on eBay and probably make a bunch of money.
Yeah.
all right, but don't let me look at it.
Yeah.
Put that in like a under your bed kind of situation.
No,
You sell
because then
that-
the
you sell that-
tentacles are like, the babies are in it, and then they're just gonna come up and eat you.
Well, not if it's dry land.
You might have a point.
Octopods need water. I don't know what the
There's
plural
a frog.
is. Octopi, I guess.
Octopi.
There's a frog in
octopods.
Africa that will bury itself, and
Or
Yeah,
is
but that's a frog.
Octopi is singular and octopussies.
Octopussies, I think. I learned that from James Bond.
did you know that?
Yeah.
It really is octopussies.
Yeah.
My mom didn't believe me.
It's not just a James Bond thing.
Yeah.
So they're on the island and they
A
kiss.
beautiful kiss.
They have their kiss.
They kiss.
And
She kisses him.
She walks away and she's like, better than a cold beer, huh?
He's like, I don't know. No, he didn't say that.
He's just laying there all treaty.
Well,
Because
was
he's
really
like,
nice.
he does have a line. He's like, now we're on this island. And then she kisses him and he's like, now we're on this
Now we're
island.
stuck on it. There's no one looking for us. Mwah. There's no one looking for us.
I love that. Same sentence, different inflection.
Yeah.
And Joey No Pants comes washing up on a
Yay!
surfboard.
He's
Yep.
not dead yet. He's not dead yet.
Not till the sequel that didn't happen.
Yeah, the sequel did not.
So yeah, they look around. He's like, "This looks like a nice enough place." Fucking Joey No Pants, shut your mouth, because then the camera pans out.
Well,
or
before
pulls
that,
out.
sorry, I just want to. Is there a threesome happening? Because he even goes, "Hey, I think I saw a kiss. Do you want me to take a walk, or I can go back in the water?"
Joey!
And they're like, "No." She even looks like, smells like Joey. Get over here, like,
Oh. I mean,
Tag
I guess
team
if you
back again.
if you really want me to stay, I'll come and stay with you.
I could come in between you.
Speaking of people getting eaten, you heard of a spit roast?
And then,
Oh man, I could eat a Famke for hours.
ooh, and then you hear the
Yes, and the camera zooms out, and you see something tramping through the woods or the jungle. I've got some information about this.
okay.
before
So
you
was
get,
it?
before you get there, I didn't like it, the ending. Because I'm fine with you setting up a sequel. This thing is bearing down on them where it is clear that they are going to be either in the fight of their life in a couple of seconds or be eaten in a couple of seconds. So you're not setting up a sequel, you're setting up the next scene.
Yeah, I
my
could see
problem.
that. I could see that.
But now give me your info, please.
So
smack me.
in the 1990s, there was an attempt to do a reboot of some old movies, as there always is.
Sure.
This was actually a setup for
Kong.
the coming King Kong movie that was also going to be directed by Stephen Sommers. And so this is Skull Island, which is kind of like when they're pulling out and you see like the volcano in the background and
Uh-huh.
stuff.
Yeah.
Although all I could think of was Mordor.
Yeah. Ooh.
But I think Peter Jackson avoided the volcano when he did King Kong because he already did Mordor.
Yeah.
But there is a volcano on the
That'd be a
island.
one-trick pony.
So this is supposed to be Skull Island. Hence, it's in the South China Sea. It's an uncharted island.
Also kind of hints it's a giant monster, kaiju style.
Yeah, no, there was a giant monster that led into this.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to be a setup for that. It never happened.
Wow, that's
development
a bummer.
hell kind of stuff.
We could have had a Treat Williams in a King Kong movie. Is
I
what you're
would've
telling
I had
me?
a very torn opinion, feelings about it when I read that because I'm like, okay, Treat Williams in a King Kong movie, awesome.
Yes.
King Kong movie in the late 90s, not awesome because the CG was barely there for a tentacle monster.
Okay, valid point. Valid point.
I mean, even Peter Jackson's King Kong, at the time, it looked wonderful. I've watched it recently. It still looks pretty good,
But
I mean, barely. And I mean, you're getting the hair textures going finally.
Yeah.
You know, at that point.
hair was a tough thing to tackle.
Yeah, and also,
It still
my
is.
other thought.
And the whole creature's hair too.
I mean, like, look at us with our
My
hair.
other thought is a King Kong movie where one person dies because you've got Treat Williams, Famke Janssen, and Joey No Pants.
No. Because now, for however reason, the army's coming. You could load this island like with a search and
I guess-
rescue. That's like the government could easily pull them out and rescue a movie over. But what they want to do is they want to get King Kong.
I guess it could be.
Send me your scripts.
It could be like we cut to a couple years later, and they're living on the island, and they understand what Kong is. They're like, look, we stay away from that part. He stays away from us, and that's when
They found some
fucking
indigenous
Jack
tribe,
Black
maybe.
and John Goodman show up. I just did 2 different King Kong movies, but you know what I'm talking about.
Jack Black and Adrian Brody.
John Goodman's in the newer one, the Skull Island. But yeah. So that was supposed to be a thing, but it wasn't, which is kind
there's-
of good,
You know
kind
what?
of
I'm mixed
bad.
with you now because the graphics would have been good enough for a Kong, but we could have had a decently fun movie there.
Yeah, I
would've
would have
been
liked
fun.
Treat in it.
One last note, the very end of the credits, you know, most of these companies form like an LLC or something just for that movie. So if
Okay.
anything goes wrong, basically that can pay out what it has, then that company can dissolve.
Uh-huh.
If you ever notice at the end of a movie, it'll be like made by the name of this movie productions. This motion picture was created by Calamari Productions.
So just for
Wow.
this movie, like,
Yeah.
I love
that's
that.
awesome. Yeah, good cheeky little note.
Cheeky.
But yeah, that's that. That's this movie.
Yeah.
All right,
Opinions?
so I give this a full recommend. Honestly, like I said, I watched it last night by myself while husband was at work, and I enjoyed it. I didn't find myself wanting to get on my phone at all. It held. It definitely held. This movie's what 20.
1998. Wait, what are you saying?
So like it's 24 years old.
yeah,
25.
25.
25.
Yeah.
So it definitely held up to me. I mean, there was the one part where I was like, Jesus Christ, why is she chasing? There was some parts where I was like, are you fucking over yet?
Cat
with
and
the
mouse
can-"
always gets old.
Yeah, it's
So I'll give it my full recommends too. And even though it does, we could cut it down and make it 1/3. Just because I fully recommend it doesn't mean I'm not going to criticize it.
exactly.
I'm going to give this the Whitney 3 thumbs up.
Oh,
Had a fucking
damn.
blast. Didn't feel like an hour 49, even though it was like, yeah, we can cut this out. You do notice you could cut parts out, but
Yes.
yeah.
I'm echoing you guys. I recommend it. I thought it was awesome. I thought it was a lot of fun. Definitely the best of the Treat Williams movies we've done for this month.
Hands down so far.
I still think Phantom's better,
yeah. Oh, I watched Phantom over
but that's
this.
not for this month. So, yeah, I mean, the CG is kind of hard to watch, but as people from the era, we can understand and
We can
forgive
remember.
it. If it tried to
I
show
saw
it,
Mortal Kombat.
if we tried to show it to the kid back there, she'd be like, "What the fuck are you watching?" You know. But she also doesn't like movies that you have to pay attention to.
Just show her the Flash. She's going to be pissed off at that too.
But overall, I think it was great, and I thought Treat was good. I just don't understand why he didn't do more.
I think because he's too competent of an actor, he's not charismatic's not the right word. He's not captivating enough to be a lead man, and he's not shitty enough to be a jokey kind of.
And he kind of got fucked because, like, the Phantom came out and cost a bunch of money and didn't make any money.
Not his fault.
Not his fault, but that was when a big vehicle he was in. This came out, cost a good amount of money, didn't make any money. Again, not his fault. The movie was lost in fucking the wash of Titanic
And
Yeah.
production.
and all this other stuff that happened. And I think it's just he was in a series of decent movies that didn't make any money, and so
I think he was acting for fun. Like he was in it just because for the heart of it.
I actually kind of wish he would have had more fun. I'm not saying he didn't, but I think he's acting. He's a craftsman,
Yes.
and what he needed to do is have a little more fun and maybe just be a little more loose. But again, I love him on screen.
I am.
I
I think if he
he's-
would have stuck with like not all, but like if he would have been playing bad guys, I think he might have been able to do more. Because I think him in the Phantom is the best example, and everything else he's in, he's this like really kind-hearted, genuine,
solid
good guy
fucking dude.
that's like a hero that, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched a movie as research for this called Skeletons in the Closet that was basically just like a straight-to-TV, shot-on digital video movie, and it was like 3 years after this, so this didn't help him.
Right.
It was actually a pretty good movie, too, and he was great, and then like the kid that was in it was pretty good, too. It was, the kid from Tuck Everlasting. I don't know. I can't remember his
we've
name,
never
but-
seen Treat Williams in a role where we're like, oh God, he's not doing it.
Yeah,
it
not
may not be
yet.
the best
I mean,
movie, but he's always
Even
fucking,
Night of the Sharks, I was sitting there going, oh man, I'm sorry, guys. And then we watched it, and I was like, well, at least he was good.
He's
Yeah.
not bad. That resolution was bad. I didn't get to see Treat Williams in that hairy chest very well, so I'm kind of upset about that.
Well, the most exciting ones are coming up. We got Dead Heat, and we have Substitute 3. Failure is not an option. This is the subtitle for that one, I think. Those are going to be really fun.
Yes. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Trick or Treat Williams, everybody.
Trick
Yeah.
or treat.
We tried to do Trick or Treat. We got one horror-ish movie so
You
far.
know what? We're just celebrating him in October. It's
Hey, you know what? In The
fine.
Substitute, he murders a bunch of people. It's kind of like a horror movie. So that's it for this week. Don't forget to check out Evasion. They provide our opening and closing music. Look at our new show on YouTube, New Movies, Worst People. We're doing a couple episodes a month, I think is kind of the idea right now.
Yeah, by the time this airs, we should have 2 out already.
Follow us on all our social media. Go buy t-shirts. We have new designs by Sasha and Ronnie, friends of the show. Those are available, and they're really cool.
Thank you so much, ladies.
Yeah, it's not just me making weird word graphics. It's them using artistic talent to draw pictures. So check those things out. We'll see you guys next week for one of those 2 movies I just listed because I'm not sure. I have been Derek.
I'm still Whitney.
I'm Jack.
Good night and treat yourself. I don't know how it goes after that.